Right, first card is Ixlid, Fungal Lord, 5 mana, 2/4. After you play a minion, summon a copy of it, Elemental. What do you think of this card?
I don't know whether the elemental tag's relevant, but I can see it being a strong,
Okay,
very
so
strong combo
what
card.
what elemental cards does Druid only have?
I don't think they have any unique ones at the minute. I'm just trying to load up Hearthstone at the minute.
I'm just gonna look at elementals in Hearthstone then.
Yeah. But no, summoning a copy. I mean, essentially, the fact it's 5 mana, you therefore can get sort of a free 2/4 if you play a 5 mana minion.
They
If that
don't
makes any
they don't
sense.
have a single class elemental.
Right.
All the elementals are Shaman, Mage, and Warlock and Warrior have their Tar Lords, of course.
Okay.
Priests have their Radiant Elementals and their Light Spawns. It's mainly
Yeah.
just Mage, Shaman.
So I don't see the elemental tag being relevant.
Yep. Unless you
the
play
fact-
like unless you play like that 5 mana 4/5, the Servant of Calamos, and you can get it from this. If you're building like some sort of elemental druid deck, right? Wait, can you discover non-class cards from Servant of Calamos?
it's weighted towards class cards.
Yeah, but can you discover other classes elementals?
No.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I think this card's bad. I think it's like if I was gonna give it 1 out of 10, I'd give it like a 3, maybe.
I'm gonna give it a 5. It's I can definitely see it combo things,
I don't.
but I don't know what it would combo.
Look at like what's it called? Fandral Straghelm, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a well statted card. It's a mana less, and it has a lot of use in Druid. I don't like you wouldn't. I don't think you'd run this in Big Druid. Like it's just too weak, too slow.
Yeah.
Maybe you play this with Astral Tigers and like a kind of a mill Druid deck.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work.
Okay. So, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, Karen.
I'm just gonna say this could be a good meme card. I don't think you'll see playing competitive though.
No.
Okay, so the next card is 4 mana 1/5 weapon, the Druid legendary weapon, the Twig of the World Tree. Death battle, gain 10 mana crystals. I think this is bad. I think this is
Same.
I think it's overhyped. I think it's actually a bad card.
Yep. It's way too slow unless you're playing Medivh.
Yeah.
And the ramp isn't relevant if you're attacking for 5 turns. So what's the benefit to that card? There's not.
People are saying like
combo, but
the thing that you have to remember though is you gain 10 full mana crystals. So what you can do is you can play like Kun, you can play like Deathwing Dragonlord, you can break your Twig, and then you can play another 10 drop like Yasharaj. And that's kind of the thing. People are thinking, oh, this is like a big priest card. This is going to be like, you can do lots of things in one turn, but I just think Medivh is better. For like, like you just play Medivh and you play Ultimate Infestation, and you already, you get a 10/10 anyway.
Yeah. Just very quickly on the previous card, you can combo it with Leroy, but then at that point, why are you not running Faceless to do the same thing?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
No. Right. Twig of the World. Nah, pointless.
I don't think it's playable. Like a 4 out of 10 maybe. I think it's better than this card. I think it has way more potential than this card. So 4 mana Branching Paths, choose twice, draw a card, give your minions +1 attack, or gain 6 armor. So I think they confirmed that you can choose the same option twice.
Okay.
So you can you can draw 2 cards, you can give your minions +2 attack, and you can gain 12 armor. So for 4 mana gain 12 armor, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you look at what's it called, Feral Rage or something?
Yes, Feral Rage, yeah.
3 mana, 4 attack, or 8 armor.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you compare from that perspective, the armor gain's pretty good compared to Feral Rage, but
I think
often you're using Feral Rage for the 4 damage. You're not using it as the heal.
I don't think this fits into any decks that currently exist. But when I'm looking at branching paths, I'm also looking at Lesser Jasper Spellstone, the one that requires armor to upgrade. I'm looking at cards like Ironwood Golem that require armor to attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole sort of aspect is it's interesting. There's definitely synergy there with existing cards as well.
I think this card's too slow.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got a board, you're just going to be playing the 1 mana, aren't you? What's it called? Give me a second here. Mark of the Lotus. This point is playing for the attack.
How does this work with Fandral? Do we know? Because it says choose twice. Does it just give all 3, or?
I believe it has been mentioned. I don't recall what the interaction was.
Does not work with Fandral Staghelm, it says on Halfbane.
There we go. Right.
So these are your 3 choices. You get Eat a Mushroom, Explore the Darkness, or Loot a Chest. And you can choose the same option twice.
Yeah.
This is the only choose twice card in the set. Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work with Fandral, so that's kind of a disadvantage. I think this card's bad.
Yeah. Draw a card, 4 mana, draw 2 cards is still bad.
Yeah, but
I mean, no options relevant.
Is 4 mana, gain 6 armor, draw a card bad?
12 it.
I don't think you're ever using the give your minions +1 attack because it's, what's it called? Feral Rage is like so much better. No, yeah. What? It's not. Savage Roar. Sorry, is so much better.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
3 mana +2 attack per the turn. There's permanent attack, but I don't think you really care.
I think it's just it gives you so many variety of options, but none of them are strong enough.
Yeah, I don't think this card's playable. I don't think anyone's going to play it.
No, it's a do anything, but what's the point in doing not a lot?
Okay, so next card is Astral Tiger, 4 mana, 3/5 Death Rattle. Shuffle a copy of this minion to your deck. I think this card's good. This is a kind of card that is really good if you're going into fatigue. You get infinite Astral Tigers, basically. The only way to counter this is silence.
You say that, but then how good was Malorn?
Yeah, but Malorn was like 7 mana, right?
Yeah, it's 7 mana, but at fatigue it's the same thing. So...
Right, but I think a 4 mana 3/5 is way more playable than Malorn. Didn't Malorn have some sort of other thing on it? Malorn.
7 mana 9/7. Shuffle this minion in deck. So it didn't ever technically die, I don't think. Messed around a little bit.
With the Astral Tiger, you shuffle a copy of it into your deck. It's different wording.
Yeah. I don't know whether the fact it's a copy is relevant.
Does it get buffs?
Behaves differently. I mean, 4 mana 3/5. If it's as good an effect as Fandral, basically, is what you're comparing it to. Personally, I don't rate that card.
This is a good card to get from Grizzled Guardian, I think. The 3 mana 3/5 recruit 2 minions that cost 4 or less on its death rattle.
Yeah, that works definitely.
I think this Grizzled Guardian card sucks though. It's really bad. But yeah, I think Astral
have to high roll.
I think Astral Tiger might see play, but I don't think it's going to be like a meta-defining card. I think this card's going to be OP.
But the real question is, why isn't it a beast?
Because it's a spirit, Andy. It's an Astral Tiger.
Oh, he got me. Okay.
It hasn't got the ghost tag, the spooky ghost tag.
spooky tag. That's what it needs to be.
Okay, so I don't think I'll see play. Do you have anything else to say?
Nope.
Okay. Grizzled Guardian, 8 mana 3/5, taunt, death rattle, recruit 2 minions that cost 4 or less. It's a beast. I think this card sucks.
Yeah, too slow.
I think
you got a high roll on the 4 drops, so if you draw your 4 drops before, it's what?
You would need 4 drops of taunt, so you couldn't run Astral Tiger. You're probably wanting to run like Ironwood Golem, probably try and give it kind of that Sludge Belcher effect where you kill it and then it summons more taunts and you can't get past them, right?
Yeah.
It could be okay with like an Ironwood Golem in your deck, but I don't think Druid even wants to run this card.
No.
Not
you silence it. There you go. You've now played a
not in the current
3/5.
Not in the current architects that exist right now, because at the moment we have Aggro Druid, which you don't run this in. We have Jade Druid, which you wouldn't run this in, And we have Big Druid, which you probably wouldn't run this in.
No.
So this card just doesn't have a deck, and I don't think there's one that's going to exist for it. This card's bad. It's like a 1. I don't know if it's a 1. It's like a 2 maybe out of 10. Next card.
And wait, are we on about which one? Sorry, Grizzled
Guardian.
Yeah. Greedy Spirit.
Next card, Greedy Spirit, 3 mana, 3/1, death rattle, game, an empty mana crystal. I think Druid has enough ramp. It's just not gonna make the cut. We saw people even stopped running Lanessa's Aspirant.
Yeah,
which was the well-statted card that gave you a mana crystal. But this is on the death rattle. It gives you an empty mana crystal. This has to die. I mean, it has 1 health, so it's probably gonna die really quickly. But I think you're playing Wild Growth on 2. You're playing what's it called? The Jade Blossom on 3. I don't think there's a place for this card. It doesn't need to exist, basically.
Nope. And the stats are pointless.
It's good to pull from something, like if you got a random 3-drop, this isn't the worst if you're not on 10 mana. Okay, Lesser Jasper Spellstone. Let's move on. I don't think this will see play. I think it's like a 3 out of 10. Next card, Lesser Jasper Spellstone, 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion, gain 3 armor to upgrade. I think this is okay. I just don't think Druid has enough armor gain in their current decks.
No, I mean, you got Ultimate Infestation. You've got
like the fully upgraded one is fantastic. It's a really good card. 1 mana, deal 6 damage to a minion is really good because Druid really lacks single target removal. It's one of the things they really need something to help them against single targets. But
so looking at it, the only viable cards are Earth and Scales at a push and Ultimate Infestation. So you're not going to get the armor gain that you need.
You can gain. They've confirmed you can gain the armor over time. So if you gain 1 armor, it'll go down to gain 2 armor to upgrade the next turn.
Oh, okay. So you can just multiple hero power.
You can multiple hero power to upgrade it, which is with Deathlord Malfurion or whatever he's called, it'll instantly upgrade it if you use your hero power once for the 8 armor. It gives you 8 armor, right?
Okay. Yeah. He gives you 3.
He gives 3 armor. Sorry. Yeah. If you upgraded this once, would it be worth it? That's the question. If you gain 3 armor, 1 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion, is that worth it for Druid?
Yeah. So I reckon it's a 7 out of 10. I think it could see play.
7 out of 10.
It has potential. Of the cards in the set, it has potential, but I can actually see it running well with Auctioneer as well. A deck that runs Auctioneer, I think is going to run that.
I think this card's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's that good.
No, fair enough.
Because I just don't. I'm rating them based on whether I think they'll see play. And I don't think this will see play in any current Druid archetypes. I think Druid's going to be really good this expansion, actually. Just based on some of the cards they've got from the neutral pool as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a 6 maybe out of 10.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Next card is Ironwood Golem. 4 mana, 3/6 taunt. Can only attack if you have 3 or more armor. I think this card's okay. I think it's fine.
It's okay, but you might as well Tar Creeper.
Yeah.
1 mana cheaper, and you're missing 1 health. That's the relevant stats because you're not going to be attacking with it. You don't play a taunt minion with the intention of next turn being able to attack. It's defensive play. So I think you just run Tar Creeper. I don't see the card.
Yeah. I mean, the upside to this is if you have 3 or more armor, you can attack for 3 attack, but I think I don't know how much armor gain is going to be in Druid. So next card, I think this is like it's okay. It's like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah. Again, I think it's going to be the high roll sort of thing, and I think that deck's just going to be too.
Okay.
If you're basing it around recruiting 4 mana minions, then you can't run 1, 2, or 3 drops. At which point you're behind the game and you've already lost by turn 5.
Next card, 4 mana Oaken Summons, gain 6 armor, recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. I think this card's okay. I think it's kind of comparable to Moonglade Portal, which saw some play. I think Moonglade Portal is better than this. But we are losing Moonglade Portal at the end of this rotation when the next year starts, because we're losing. We're losing Karazhan, which it's from. We're losing Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, and we're losing Whisper of the Old Gods from the standard rotation.
So it's potentially relevant in a new meta, but currently no.
I think it's fine, but what 4-drops do you want to get from Druid?
Fandral, possibly the Astral Tiger if you're running that deck with Grizzled Guardian.
You have like a neutral 4-drops. I don't think there's any you want.
Violet Shredder.
It's a wild card. Every time I think of a good 4-drop, I always think of Piety Shredder, but it's a wild card. Because you summon a 4-drop, and then that 4-drop, there's an even smaller 2-drop.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 4 out of 10. I'd say like 5 or above it probably sees play, and then below 5 for me is like it probably won't see play.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it like a 4. Yeah. I think it's almost good enough to see play, but I don't think it is gonna be good enough.
No, I'd personally go sort of 3. It needs a whole archetype around it, which archetype, and then it might work. But personally, I don't think there's enough support.
The next card is Barkskin, so it's 1 mana Barkskin, give a minion +3 health, gain 3 armor. What do you think of this?
Very strong, personally. It allows a lot of trades, and the armor gain's nice.
If you play this on 1 minion, you're already getting a better Lesser Jade Spellstone upgrade. Yeah. So it goes from 2 damage to 4 damage.
Combos well with Auctioneer. I'm just wondering what deck you want to draw that many cards in. I mean, is it going to be like Yogg Druid? What, like, I don't know. It's a little bit confusing. Maybe Mali Druid comes back again. But yeah, again, Auctioneer combo. 7, 8.
You can't play Mali Druid, right? Because Aviana's in Wild, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's why it fell. Yeah. So yeah, no. They're good cards. I just can't see what deck they're going to be running with Auctioneer.
I think Barkskin might actually make Lesser Jasper Spellstone way more playable.
Yeah.
So I think Barkskin might see play just because of Jasper Spellstone. So I'm going to give Barkskin like a 6 out of 10 for sure.
Cool. I'm going to go with an 8, but I don't know what deck.
Okay, Hunter. So we can go over this quickly. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is like a 7 or a 6. 0, 0. Okay, we've done Hunter. I think Hunter is so bad. They gave it the worst cards of the expansion. Yeah. I think Katharina Winterwisp in the dream scenario it pulls like
Savannah and
High Mane, and King Crush, or what's it called?
Charged Devilsaur?
Charged Devilsaur, that's the one I was looking for. Because if it gets pulled from your deck, it can attack heroes. It can be a smart card.
Yeah.
So I think
at that point you're running no low cost beasts. So...
I'm gonna give Katharina Winterwisp a 5 because I think it will see play a little bit, but I don't think anyone's actually gonna play it once the expansions fully come out.
No, I'm going with a 3, possibly see it in Wild.
Okay. So. Yeah. The next card, 7 mana 4/2, Rock Delar, Battlecry. If your deck has no minions, fill your hand with hunter spells. I'm giving this a 1. I think this card is awful.
I'm just giving it a 1 because it's worth some dust.
Yeah, I think this is a dust card. I think a lot of the weapons are kind of bad in this expansion.
Yeah.
From the legendary ones.
Yeah. Crushing Walls.
Crushing Walls, 7 mana. You're giving it a 4.
No, I'm saying it's a poor card. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm giving it a 1. I promised Jackie Chan, the streamer, that I would play around Crushing Walls just for Jackie. He said he was going to play Crushing Walls, and I said, I will position my minions against Crushing Walls whenever I play Hunter. Yeah. Every time now that I've seen this.
Yeah. I mean, it's the opposite of Meteor. What can you do but look at your opponent's class and go, okay, I'm playing around that card now.
I don't think this card has got a good meme potential, but I don't think I'll see play in anything else.
No.
Next card is To My Side. 6 mana. Summon an animal companion. Or 2 if your deck has no minions. I think this card's a 1. I don't think it'll see any play. I don't think a hunter deck exists with no minions in it.
No.
Did you see the shit post where they created their own version of what 2 meant, and 2 was like a 20/20 bear with charge?
Yeah, that might make the archetype possible.
Yeah.
Maybe. Even then, it's pushing it.
I'm convinced Blizzard doesn't know what Hunter does. They've consistently released terrible epics, terrible legendaries. They have no idea what the class is meant to do. Like, just look at the Hunter hero power and then tell me why I would want to run a deck with only control spells in it.
Yeah.
Like, pointless. Yeah, it's a 1. Next card, Seeping Oozling, 6 mana 5/4 Battlecry, gain the death rate of a random menu in your deck. I'd give this like a 3 out of 10. I think there's potential with like high mains or something like that. Or you could even get the death rattle of Katharina Winterwisp, which would be quite useful, but
yeah,
I don't think this is good.
You compare it to high main,
why would
the same cost for less stats.
Yeah, just run high main instead of this.
Yeah. And it's not got a beast tag.
Okay. I think this is like a 3 or a 4. I think it might see play in like the early stages. I don't think it'll be a competitive deck though. Next card, Lesser Emerald Spellstone, 5 mana, summon 2, 3/3 wolves, play a secret upgrade. I'm gonna give this card a 6. I think this is gonna see play in the beginning, into the middle, in like a mid-range hunter deck. I think there's going to be like a secret mid-range hunter deck with like Eelhorn Bow and some secrets and stuff. But I don't think this is going to make Hunter good enough to be like a tier 1, tier 2 deck.
No, personally, I'm going to rate it a 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
It's super easy to pull this off though. You have to play 2 secrets. Yeah, but... You play 2 secrets and you summon 4 3/3 wolves for 5 mana. That's insane.
It's strong, but board wipes are, very prevalent and easy, and then you're like, oh great, I've just spent all this mana on secrets, and now, sure, I've got a good 5 mana card, but the amount of money you have to waste on secrets, unless you're running the 3 mana 3/4, or whatever it is. Let me have a quick look. I can never remember what it's called. Yeah, Cloaked Huntress.
Yeah, I thought about Cloaked Huntress, but that's in an aggro deck, and I don't think you run Lesser Emerald Spellstone in an aggro deck, right? I think it's a mid-range secret deck.
I personally just can't see it fitting.
You could run it in like an aggro deck with like Secret Keepers, a bunch of cheap secrets, the 3 mana 3/4 Cloaked Huntress, and then you run this as like a one-of instead of like high main.
Yeah, I could see it being a good keeping your hand in an aggro deck. Oh shit, I've just had a board clear. Okay, refill the board. That would work, but got no immediate.
You're giving this a 3 out of 10. I think you're undervaluing this card. I think you're really undervaluing this card.
We will see.
I'm calling you out now because I think this is at least playable. I think it's at least a 5.
Okay.
Okay. Next card, 2 mana Wandering Monster, 2 mana Secret. When an enemy attacks your hero, summon a 3-cost minion as the new target. I think this is bad. I think the only 3-cost minion you want to pull is the Egg. So we might see people making Egg Hunter, but I don't think it'll be very good. I think this is like a 3 or a 4 out of 10.
Does it not just summon a random 3-cost? Because it doesn't specify from your deck. I think it's just completely random.
I thought it was from your deck.
It doesn't appear to be. But I could be mistaken.
Oh. Do you not get to control it? But okay, maybe I was wrong.
No.
Seems worse than Bear Trap, though.
Yeah. No, it's... not running it. Moving on?
I'm just trying to figure out how it works. I thought it was thought it was from your deck, but if it's not, it's a little bit better than that. Because I thought you could, if it was from your deck, you could just put eggs in your deck, and then it would always pull the egg. They'd kill the egg, and then you got a 5/5, and that'd be really good. Okay, well, I'll give this like a 3 or a 4 still. I think it might see some play. Probably not, though.
No, I don't think it will.
Next card, 4 mana, Flanking Strike. Deal 3 damage to a minion, summon a 3/3 wolf. It's a spell. I think this is a 5. I think it's actually really good. I just don't think Hunter can use this that well. If this was in any other class, it would be really good.
In Arena, it's going to be strong. Because tempo and, it's decent. But, yeah, again, can't see it being overly
I think this is like a 5. I think this is a really good card. I just don't think it's in the right deck, or I don't think it has enough cards to support it. Like, if you were building like the To My Side, Rock Delar, full spell, 0 minion deck, you definitely have this one in because it's really good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going with the wolves, but it's just
because the idea is you don't play any minions and then you summon a bunch of wolves with the Lesser Emerald Spellstone and use the Flanking Strike as well to summon summon your minions from your spells, basically.
Yeah, but no.
Next card is Cave Hydra, 3 mana 2/4, so poor stats. Also damages the minions next to whoever this attacks. This is bad.
Yeah, it's too slow. You have to get it comboed with the
Houndmaster.
That's the one. But at that point, you're on turn 7.
If it was a 3/3, I think this could be playable, but it's a 2/4, so it really sucks.
I think either way that would suck. Cause I just don't see it being good at all.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10.
No, it's just dust.
I'm probably gonna dust it, but we'll see. Yeah. Next card is a common hunter weapon, and it's a 1 mana 1/3 candle shot, and you're immune while attacking. Once again, Blizzard, hunters don't trade. They are smart boys. They go face.
Yeah.
There we go. S and
does Light's Justice see play? No. Does the immune make up for the one less durability? No.
Smoke or die.
Get out of here. Let me run Eaglehorn Bow. I'd much rather just play that.
Yep.
Alright.
The thing you can do with this is you can play this on 1, and then you can play like deckhand, and you can do and then you pull patches, so you do loads of damage. But because you don't care about the immune effects, you're not trading. You can play a pirate hunter deck where you could do. But I think it's just too bad. It needs some text on it that's useful for not trading. Because this just doesn't go well with the hunter hero power at all. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, that was Hunter. Overall, I think Hunter's going to be bottom tier deck. I don't think it's going to be useful at all.
No, bottom tier.
So next is Mage, and the first card up is Dragoncaller Alana. And it is a 9 mana 3/3 Battlecry. Summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you cast this game that costs 5 or more. I think this is bad. I think it's like a 4.5. I think it's almost good enough to play with Dragon's Fury and Deck of Wonders and those sort of cards. I just don't think there's enough cards to support running this and summoning a bunch of 5/5s.
No. I personally think it will see play. But not in the I play only massive spells deck, because I think if you can make a dragon mage work, it will definitely see play. I think you focus more on the dragon rather than the cost of the spells.
What dragons does mages have though? Syndragosa, and that's it.
Right? Yeah. So there's not the support for the dragons. But
a lot of dragons.
If you're running double Blizzard, double Flame Strike, you're suddenly just playing an entire board full of dragons, which I think is almost game winning at times.
What, the Dragon's Fury?
No. The Dragoncaller Alana.
Oh, right.
So you just run double Blizzard, double Flame Strike, double Firelands Portal, something like that, and there you go. You just got a board full of dragons. And I think that could work. So a tempo mage deck with that potential.
With the rotation of Karazhan, we're losing Bookworm as a dragon. And Midnight Drake, I think, but no one cares about that card.
Nah, no, not bothered. But
yeah,
no, I think.
And Scaled Nightmare, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think you just focus on the spells rather than the dragons for that card. And
I don't think you care at all about dragons with this card.
No, what I'm saying is like it's just a pure tempo. Like here, I now have a board full of dragons. What are you gonna do about it?
I think you'd rather just play like Medivh, right?
Yeah, I think in that deck.
Does this card replace Medivh? I don't think so. Not until a set rotation comes out for Karazhan.
Possibly.
I don't think so. Medivh. You're playing a 7 mana. Well, no, it's not. It's 8 mana 7/7, and you get 3 minions for each spell. With this, you're getting a 9 mana 3/3, and if you cast a 5/5, if you cast a 5 spell this game, you have to get at least 2 dragons. To be better than Medivh, you have to get 3 or 4 5/5 dragons, right?
Yeah, so double Flame Strike, double Fireland. There you go. But I'm gonna rate it as 7.5.
I think this card's I
think it will see play.
I don't think so. I think this card's like a 4.5 or a 5. I think it's bad. I think it's really bad. I think I'll see play in the beginning of the expansion, and I think people will just stop using it. Okay. A Luneth. 6 mana, 0/3 mage weapon. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. I think this card is so hard to rate. I have no idea, actually.
No.
I think it's a 5 out of 10 baseline. I think it's going to see play. I don't know how good it is, though.
You want to run it in like a low-cost deck?
You want to run it in like a tempo
but then
mage
it costs
deck.
6 mana, so...
Yeah,
are you just running it to refill your hand, I guess?
Yeah. You just run it this instead of like Arcane Intellects, I think. And then you just play this on 6, you get 3 cards, you dump your hand, you get 3 cards, you dump your hand. Like, you just keep playing like Firelands, Portals, and that sort of stuff, and you just keep putting pressure on the board until they eventually have to give in.
Yeah.
I think you can also... You could run this in Quest Mage as well, because that deck wants a lot of cycle. The only problem is with milling yourself. I think it might just be good enough to run though in Quest Mage.
I personally don't agree. I don't think you'll run it in Quest, but I think it will be a good card. Obviously you're missing Flame Wanker, so he's not around anymore.
Come on, Brett. Flame Wanker? Yeah.
Yeah. But if Flame Walker on that card, that would just be broken.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 or 8. I'm going with.
Even if this weapon gets,
I think it's
because it's at the end of your turn. Even if it gets destroyed the next turn, it's 6 mana, draw 3 cards. Like if this was at the start of the turn, it would be awful. But it's 6 mana, draw 3 cards. They can't deal with it. Draw 6 cards, and then if they deal with it, it's already better than a fucking sprint. Like this card is insane value in terms of card draw. It's just a question of is mage and is the mage deck able to dump the cards, and will you overdraw if you take out a lot of the cycle in Quest Mage and play this instead? I think you can. This is probably the card most people are going to be wrong about on this expansion. It's either going to be like meta defining or it's going to be trash, I think.
Yeah, the fact it's a legendary as well, you're obviously not going to have that consistent draw as much. But turn 6, then again, makes up for that. So it's not turn 2 like Keleseth. I think it's going to see play. You're just going to be a burn mage deck. So yeah. All right, Deck of Wonders. Shuffle 5 scrolls into your deck when drawing a random spell. Mini Yogg's Run.
So we'll mention it costs 5 mana, so it goes towards Dragoncaller Alana. And when you draw a scroll, it costs 5 mana and it makes you draw a card, but it doesn't count towards the Dragoncaster Alana.
Right.
The scroll doesn't, I believe.
Okay. So, good card, maybe. Obviously, it's just random.
Oh, and one big thing as well. The scroll, because it doesn't start in your deck, it even though it doesn't start in your deck, it doesn't count towards the quest for Quest Mage. I believe. It doesn't count towards Quest Mage, which would have made it like way better.
Yeah, that would have. Okay. Not sure. Probably not good.
I think this is a good meme card. I think it's gonna.
Oh yeah, a hell of a good meme card.
I'm gonna play this. I think I'm gonna play this in my Yogg Mage deck for sure. Is it competitive? Probably not. I mean, is playing 5 random spells through the game while giving yourself 5 extra cards in your deck good?
I think the massive thing that kills it off is 5 mana, do nothing that turn. It's just not worth doing.
I think because it's not better than Kabbalist Tome, because Kabbalist Tome gives you 3 spells and you can use them eventually, and you can choose what you want to use, even though it's random. You get to choose when to cast them. You're
not going to fireball your own face.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, won't see play.
I think it's like a 4 or 5 out of 10. I think it's okay. I think it's the worst one. Okay, 5 mana, Dragon's Fury, reveal a spell from your deck, deal damage equal to its cost to all minions. I think this card's good. I don't think it's too good though, because until they rotate Ice Block out of Standard, you're always going to be running Secrets. You're always going to be running a 3 mana removal if you get Ice Block from it.
And Frostbolt.
Yeah, you want to run Arcane Intellect, you want to run Frostbolt, you want to run Secrets like Ice Block, Ice Barrier, you want to run you want to run Primordial Glyph as well, especially if you're Quest Mage. There's like a bunch of like low cost spells that you're gonna want to run in Mage that are gonna fuck over this and just make it like a volcanic potion, basically.
Yeah. Initially you're thinking, holy shit, if you high roll on this, that's the board clear. But I think you're having to build your deck and compromise it too much.
Yeah.
So not worth it. Not gonna see play.
No, I don't think so. Like the best spells you could run this in like a high roll mage with like Firelands Portal and Flame Strike / Blizzard. That would be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll suit too much. But I think it's like a 6 or a 7 out of 6 out of 10 maybe. I think it will see some play in some deck, but I don't think it'll be like competitive too much.
No.
Okay, next card is Leyline Manipulator, 4 mana, 4/5. Battlecry, if you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2. This card is really good. It's what Ethereal Peddler should have been if it wanted to be competitive, and it can be used in Quest Mage.
Yeah. This plus Kobolds Tome, very strong.
Because you can run this like... what was the card that makes it really good? I'm trying to think.
Babbling Book.
Babbling Book.
Yeah, I think Kobolds Tome is the biggest synergy, isn't it?
I don't think you run Babbling Book anymore. Because I think you run Shifting Scroll instead of Babbling Book. Each turn this is in your hand, transform into a random mage spell.
Yeah, I guess. But the thing is, with the Babbling Book, sure, you're paying 1 mana for a 1/1, but you get that spell and then you can play into it. So you get a Blizzard, and then you're like, okay, I don't mind my opponent building up a bit of a board because next turn I can Blizzard.
But the way you use Leyline Manipulator is you run 2 Similarians, or whatever they're called, where they copy a card in your deck. And so you copy Sorcerer's Apprentice, and because they don't start in your deck, they become 0, and it makes the combo even easier to do. Because you don't need 2 Molten Reflections anymore. You need 4. Right. You need like, and you can also use it to hit the quest as well. But I think you cast because it makes the quest cost 3 as well.
Okay. I can see it potentially being strong. I'm just trying to have a quick look what elementals mage has, see if there's any synergy there.
Yeah, because there's Frostlich Jaina and there's all the elementals you can run with that.
I think it might fit in the elemental mage deck.
I think this card is going to see play. I think it's like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I think this card is really strong.
Yeah, we'll see play definitely, but not sure what deck.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be like a one of in Quest Mage, or it's going to be in like some sort of elementally tempo mage if that exists. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It's strong, but where is it strong?
Okay. Next card is Explosive Runes. Oh, it's got good stats as well, so that's something to mention.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
Explosive Runes, secret after your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it and add any excess to the hero. I think this card's good, and I think it might just see play. I think it's like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah. I think it is good. Mirror Entity is better, I want to say.
It's not it's not better against it's not better against like like 1/1s or like something like that. What's Novice Engineers? Say like Raza plays Novice Engineer, you won't get a useless 1/1, you'll be able to kill it and deal 5 damage to Raza Priest and put pressure on him because with that deck it doesn't have a lot of healing, and as mage you're always wanting to keep the damage pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, so it's better early, and then Mirror Entity's better late, I guess, is the way to look at it.
Secrets are always good because they make you play around more stuff, so having more secrets in the pool is always a really good thing.
Oh, definitely.
It's got anti-synergy with Dragon's Fury as a secret, so that's something to consider.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of this card? Do you think it's going to see play?
I think it will, but not heavily. It's not.
No, I think I will see like
a few months down the line. It's not going to be run, but I think when the meta's unstable, no one's quite sure what to put in.
What was that new secret in the Frozen Throne that gave you 2 copies of a card when someone played it?
Frozen Clone, yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't see that at all. Like we saw it in like the beginning for a little bit, and then it kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I think this might be similar to that.
Yeah, because that would have worked with Quest Mage, right? Cause is it spells Quest Mage, right?
Yeah, it's spells. So
it doesn't work with minions.
No, it wouldn't have worked with Quest Mage. But then
Open the Waygate, yeah, spells.
What's the 1 copy of spell and reduce it to 0 secret?
Mana Bind.
That's the one. That, if a secret was going to be running Quest Mage, it would be that.
Yeah, and it doesn't make the cut.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Next card is 2 mana, Lesser Ruby Spellstone. Add 1 random mage spell to your hand. Play 2 elementals to upgrade. I think this is terrible.
No, I think that goes with the Leyline Manipulator extremely well, personally. I don't know whether you were able to run enough.
You think you run Leyline Manipulator, and you can reduce these random spells to like really cheap and tempo people out?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this card's bad though. You have to play 2 elementals to upgrade at once, and then you're just getting a bunch of random spells.
Yes.
You have to play 4. You have to play 4 elementals, and then you get 3 random mage spells. But by the point you're playing a bunch of elementals, do you really want random spells in your deck?
Potentially. I think you might run this in like a random mage spell deck. It's going to be like Evolved Shaman where you try and high roll, but I think it will see play. In an elemental mage list, so I think again with Leyline Manipulator, it'll be in that list. That's what I'm thinking.
I think this won't see play. I think it's like a 4.5. I think it's just below the cuff of seeing play.
I'm going to go with a 7. It's not as good as Leyline, which I'd rate an 8. But yeah, I think it will still see play.
You don't run like Leyline Manipulator and this in Quest Mage because you can't run enough elementals.
Oh no, not in Quest Mage,
no. No way. Next card is 2 mana 2/2 Raven Familiar. Battlecry, reveal a spell in each deck. If yours costs more, draw it. This is going to be used in the big Dragon's Fury kind of Dragoncore Alana decks, but I think it's just not as good as the secret one.
No. I mean,
until Ice Block stops existing, people want to draw Ice Block. It's going to be the 2 mana 2/3 draw a secret. It's going to continue to be the dominant 2-drop in Mage.
Definitely.
Even in Tempo Mage, you want to draw like counter spells and mirror entities.
The thing is, you're drawing a high cost spell, and you then don't have a turn 3. Whereas if you play the secret one, you play turn 2, and then into secret turn 3.
The only way this could work is if you're running in a meta where you're playing against people who don't run high cost spells. So if you're playing against tempo decks like Rogue, where they don't have any spells in their deck, basically, this could be good, because then you wouldn't have to pay that too much of a mana cost. If somehow Hunter was good, you could run this against like Hunter and stuff. But I think as long as Ice Block exists, Mage is going to be the exact same archetype it's always been.
Beast tag relevant? Don't think so.
No, not unless it's like a Druid or a Hunter card, basically. Unless you're playing Wild and some Hemet Nezing worries you. That would be a good meme.
Yeah.
Alright, next card, Arcane Artificer. It's a 1-mana 1/2 elemental. Whenever you cast a spell, gain armor equal to its cost. I think this card is garbage. It's like a 1 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, this is like the worst card of the expansion, maybe.
Okay. Fair enough.
You liked this one, didn't you?
I personally do, yeah.
But you got
Earth and Scale saw play. I reckon this will see about the same amount as play. Once lists are refined, it might not.
Think about this, Andy, right? Earthen Scales saw play in Druid, right? But in Mage, you can pay 3 mana and get 8 armor from a secret. Why would you play this? Like, you're not getting it based on the damage it does, you're getting it based on the mana cost. So you'd have to pay a Flame Strike, which would give you 7 armor. It wouldn't give you like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 all added together and give you like a bunch of armor. It would just give you like a low baseline. You could run it in like a high cost deck, but I think running a 1-mana 1/2 is just too bad. It just sucks.
If there's somehow an overlap with the legendary Dragoncaller Alana, I think that deck runs it. You just chuck it down before you play your big spell.
But then that makes like Flame Strike an 8-mana combo, and you're playing a 1/2. Like, why wouldn't the thing? You're playing an elemental deck. That's what you're saying. You run this in, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Why would you not play Firefly?
I think you probably would as well.
You would play Firefly and Arcane Artificer. I think this card is I think this card sucks so much. I think you play it in any deck.
No, okay.
I think this is actually like a 1 out of 10.
Fair enough.
What are you giving it?
You're giving it like a 6 or a 7.
7? You're fucking insane, Andy. You know that. I'm gonna link you this when this card is like the least played card in the set.
Okay. But no, I think that again, Elemental Mage. I think you could just play it, just chuck it in there. Why not? But again, you bring a point I hadn't thought about. Is Firefly with the lesser Ruby Spellstone? You're not gonna need that Elemental tag in there, I guess.
Yeah, if you're playing lesser Ruby Spellstone in an Elemental Mage deck, you want Firefly for sure. You don't want to play this card.
No. So yeah, I guess I don't want to rule it out. I think it will see play, but
Okay. You're giving it a 7. That's what you've said. A 6 or a 7?
6. That's 7.
Okay, so the final card of Mage is Shifting Scroll, and each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a random Mage spell. I think this is good. I think this is like a 6 or a 7, and I think you play this instead of Babbling Book. Because, if you think about it, Babbling Book, sometimes you can't play the spell, and you just get cucked by it, and it's like a fucking... It's actually unplayable, like it's Volcanic Potion or something. You can't play it with your Sorcerer's Apprentice to use your Antonize and stuff. Yeah. With this, you can just keep rerolling until you get a spell you need for the quest, and then you play it. Think of it, it's like a spell version of... what's that card that's transforms a minion? Do you know what I'm talking about? Shift Azaris.
Yeah.
He's not a spell shifter, I don't think. I think it's just Shift Azaris.
Oh, is he just shifting? Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I know.
And that was a legendary. This is a common, and it's a mage common. This is going to fucking suck to play against an arena, dude. It's a mage common. This card is going to be fucking insane in arena.
Yeah, that is actually going to be really frustrating.
Your opponent's going to have, 5 flame strikes, and they're all going to be from random shifting scrolls.
Oh, that'll be fun. Okay.
Yeah. I think this card is definitely going to see play. It's going to see play in Quest Mage. It's going to see play in Arena for sure, and it might see play in some other standard deck.
Yeah, definitely Quest Mage.
You probably play Babbling Book over this and like a tempo deck.
Yeah.
But if Babbling Book gets rotated out, with the set change, maybe there's changes. So now we're moving on to Paladin. So the first card of the set is a legendary minion. Lanessa Sunsorrow Battlecry. Cast each spell you cast on your minions this game on this one. What do you think of this?
Combine it with Spike-Ridge Steed, Blessing of Kings. You've got yourself a card. You don't really need to build a deck around it.
I think you do. I think you do.
I think you just need to run just those. That's it. So I don't see any issue with that.
You're saying you only need to cast Spike-Ridge Steed and Blessing of Kings to make this card worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with you on that.
If you play is it 1 mana Murloc? Copy the spell as well. To just play that with Spike-Ridge Steed, you've then got a triple Spike-Ridge Steed deck.
How do you, the Murloc that gives you a secret?
No, the 1 mana copy any spells used on this minion.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is a very good card, personally, and I don't think you need to run a deck around it.
I think this is a terrible card, and I think if you don't run a deck around this, it's going to be even worse.
Interesting. Okay.
How often are you playing Spike-Ridge Steed on turn 6?
In decks?
Yes.
Very often. It's a very good card.
You're almost never playing Spike-Ridge Steed on turn 6. And you'd have to draw Spike-Ridge Steed before you draw this card. And if you draw this card first, you haven't played your 2 spells, Kings or Steed. You have a 7 mana 1/1 in your hand. And it also doesn't draw you any cards.
No, but I still think it's a very strong card, personally. I mean, would you run a 7 mana 5/11 taunt, summon another taunt like 2/6? I think you would.
If that was a card by itself, yes, but that's very situational.
That's sort of the average outcome, really, in draw order, because it's a legendary, so therefore you should draw it in the middle, if that makes sense.
I think if you're playing this card, you really want Potion of Heroism as well. Otherwise, you're really going to run out of cards. Because you're gonna to get the combo, you need to fill your deck with draw cards as well. And you want to cast Potion of Heroism as well to get this.
I don't see it as a combo card, personally. I think it's just a strong card.
If you don't get the 4 spells you're going to cast on this, it's a 7 mana 1/1. So yes,
Sure.
I think it's a combo card.
I don't think it's relevant as you're thinking about it, personally, but we'll see. I think it's strong.
What are the other cards you run in your deck?
It's just a tempo list. Like, you could just run it in Murloc Paladin as a finisher instead of Tyrion.
I would rather have Tyrion than this card. It's way more consistent. Tyrion is the best card in the game, and you'd run this over it.
I'm not saying you'd replace Tyrion. I'm just saying it is comparable. Like, Tyrion, you just play on the board. It's just like, fuck you. And same with that. It's just
Tyrion, you play on the card, it gets silenced. You go, oh shit, I've got a 6 mana. I've got a 6/6. You play this, it gets silenced. You go, oh shit, I played a bunch of cards, and I have a 1/1.
Well, I guess you play Tyrion first then. But I'm going to be playing that card.
What do you give out of 10?
A 9.
I give it a 4. I think this card's bad.
Interesting. Right. Moving on. Actually, no, you can say that one.
Valanir, 6 mana, 4/2, death rattle, give a minion in your hand, +4/+2 when it dies, re-equip this. I think this is like a 9 out of 10. This is insane. This is probably the best weapon in the set.
You run it with Doppelgangster and
Saronite Chain Gang?
That's the one.
You don't even need to run those cards though, it's just really good on its own in like a mid-range or control paladin.
Yeah.
The
but
fact,
with those cards, it just becomes beyond broken.
The fact that you can't kill this, like killing this card only buffs it. Like it's immune to weapon removal almost. It's just so good.
Yeah. So strong.
Like a lot of the time as control paladin, you run out of things to do, but with this you can play a 6 mana 40 weapon. You can swing face, and then if next turn you buff a minion, you get massive creatures out there. I don't think you build a hand buff deck. I think you just run Saronite Chain Gang in a normal control paladin list, and I think you just put this in. It's just really good.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the best weapon of the expansion.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. We'll definitely see a lot of play.
10 out of 10.
Giving it a 10 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 10.
It's really good. Hang on, I need to see if there's any card I've seen in the expansion that I think is going to be that is so good I'd give it a 10 out of 10. It might be in Priest. It might be the Dust Call that I give a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, Warlock has some top-notch cards. Okay,
we'll get to this.
Warlock and Priest might get a 10, but I think this is a 9 for sure.
I might be rating a few different cards as 10, to be fair.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'll ask you at the end what is the best card in the set.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, next card, 5 mana, level up. Give your Silverhand recruits +2/+2 and taunt. This is like a 2. It's pretty shit. If Must for Battle existed in Standard, it would be really good. It doesn't, so it's bad. Your thoughts?
No, I have to completely agree with you.
I think this is a quick evaluation.
Yeah,
you look at Quartermaster. Quartermaster's a 2/5 body on it. It doesn't give them taunt, but it's pretty similar.
I don't think you can get out the Silverhand recruits enough.
Quartermaster doesn't exist anymore, but you look at cards like Tarim, and Tarim is like way better than this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't think this is good enough. So I'll give it. Yeah, it's like a 2. Next card, 4 mana, Call to Arms. Recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. I think this is okay. I think you look at like Call to Arms, the 3 mana draw. Is it 3 minions with 1 attack?
I know the one you're on about. But that's just draw a card.
Paladin spells, Hearthstone. It's giving me World of Warcraft Paladin spells. I do not want those. I'm just going to quickly look up that card so I can say what it is for people.
Okay.
And me watching this back.
And you, yeah.
Okay, it's loading. It doesn't give the. Oh, here are the pictures. It's Small Time Recruits. That's the name of the card. Draw 3 1-cost minions from your deck. So you can kind of look at that. That's 3 mana, draw 3 1-cost minions from your deck. And Call to Arms is recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. So it plays them on the board, which is a lot better than going to your hand for an extra mana. And they can cost 2 mana as well.
Yeah. I don't think I'm missing out on battle cries for 1 or 2 mana minions either. The only ones is like Firefly.
I'm going to give this card a 5. I think it's good enough to be played. I think like the dream scenario is you have this and you put like loot hoarders in your deck and maybe like a Thalanos or something.
Shielded mini bots.
Well, and wild, yeah. But I think you play this, you recruit like a couple of loot hoarders or a Thalanos or something. You take them out your deck, so you thin your deck even more, and then they draw you more cards, and you just get to your better, cards a lot quicker. You get your Tyrians and your shit way more quicker with this card.
Yeah. Good card.
I think it's a good card, and I think it probably will see play. But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be meta defining. I don't think it's like insane card. I think it's like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah. 5 is what I'd go with. Yeah, 5.
Next card is 6 mana 5/5 Crystal Lion Divine Shield. Cost 1 less for each Silverhand recruit you control. This is like a 2 out of 10. At first I read it and I was like, oh, it's a power creep of Sunwalker, and I was like, wait, it doesn't have Taunt. If this had Taunt, it would be like way better. But because Muster for Battle doesn't exist, this card is trash. In Standard, it's probably good in Wild.
Yeah.
If you're playing Stand Against Darkness, you can play this for 1 mana, right? Which is pretty good, but I don't think you ever play a deck with Stand Against Darkness in it for a start, so I don't think it's that good. It might see play. It's definitely going to see play in Wild, I think, and probably in Arena it might see a bit of play.
Okay,
next card is Unidentified Maul, so it's a 3 mana 2/2 baseline, but while it's in your hand it gains a bonus effect, which is broken on Hearthstone. I believe they are. Hang on.
Yeah, see if you can find them.
Oh, okay. Purifies Maul, give your minions Divine Shield. As a battle cry, give your minions Taunt. Battle cry, summon 2/1/1 Silverhand recruits. Or Blessed Maul, give your minions +1 attack. I think this card is bad.
Yes.
You are trying to get the 3 mana spot of a weapon in Paladin, which is already contested pretty hard by other 3-drops, and you're trying to go against Rallying Blade, which is like insanely good. Purifies Maul, giving your minions Divine Shield, kind of does the same thing with +1/+1 to Divine Shield minions.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there a 3 mana 2/3 that gave a minion Divine Shield and Taunt?
Was that Coghammer or something?
Yeah, like Coghammer or something. Was it Coghammer? Like that does 2 of the effects of this weapon in 1 already.
Yeah.
It was like a 3 mana 2/3.
It's to a lone minion. So
this is a 2 mana 2/2 weapon, and that was a 2/3.
Yeah.
And then if you look at like Champion's Maul, Battlecry, summon 2/1/1 Silverhand recruits, you're paying 3 mana for a 2/2 weapon and 2/1/1 recruits. So if you look at Muster, you get a 1/4 and 3 1/1 recruits. Like, it's just not compare at all.
No.
I think it's just like I think this card's okay. I think it's like a 2 or 3 out of 10, but I think overall it's not going to see play.
Fair enough, yeah. No, I don't think it'll see play.
Next card is Lesser Pearl Spellstone. 2 mana, summon a 2/2 spirit with Taunt, restore 3 health to upgrade. I think this card sucks. It's like a 1 out of 10. You need to restore 6 health to yourself, which you don't actually use a lot of the healing spells in Paladin most of the time.
No, not going to see play.
Yeah, I think it's bad.
Just bad.
Like, you look at it and you go, oh, 2 mana 6/6, but you're also like, yeah, well, you kind of got to be healing a bunch and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, you can kind of do some healing in Paladin with like Wicker Flame, Burn Whistle, Uther with the healing, You could run this in like a combo Paladin deck, maybe, the Exodia Mage. And you get like Uther with the Lifesteal weapon, and then you can play like 2 mana 6/6 Taunts. But that might be pushing it. The fact they have Taunt makes them really good. For a 2 mana 2/2 with Taunt is like really bad. A 2 mana 4/4 with Taunt is really good, and then a 2 mana 6/6 with Taunt is insane. So I think we're just gonna have to see how the spellstones go. Like, how easy is it to actually activate the spellstones will tell us how good they are, basically.
Yeah. Agree with that.
But I think overall this is like a 1 or 2, maybe a 3. I don't think it's that good. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. I think it's kind of hard to evaluate.
Mm.
I mean, if you're playing this, you're probably playing like Lifesteal. You're playing like the next card, Benevolent Djinn, 3 mana, 2/4. At the end of the turn, restore 3 health to your hero. Kind of similar to the other elemental in Shaman that deals 3 healing to something as a battle cry.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Can't see it being amazing.
Okay, next card. 3 mana Benevolent Djinn, 2/4 elemental. End of your turn, restore 3 health to your hero. I don't think there's any elemental synergy in Paladin. I don't really think that's important. It doesn't have Taunt like the Shaman card, so it's a lot worse there. And I think it just dies really quickly because it doesn't, you can't really protect this card that well. And it's the 3-drop spot in Paladin, which is one of the most contested in the game. So yeah. I think this is like a 1 or a 2 out of 10 in terms of seeing play.
Pointless. I mean, even if you need the heal, why not just run the 3 mana 3/3? Direct your heal to a minion if need be.
Yeah. Elemental task, Farseer.
There we go. Yeah.
Elemental tag doesn't mean anything in Paladin, I don't think.
No.
Okay. Next card is the 2 mana 1/1 Dragot's Jailer. Death roll, add 3 Silverhand recruits to your hand. This is like a 1 or a 2. This card sucks.
Bad. Slow.
Even in hand buff Paladin, it really doesn't do that much.
Yeah.
I think this card sucks. Anyway, 2 mana Potion of Heroism. Give a minion Divine Shield, draw a card. I think this is the card Purify should have been. What the hell, Blizzard? I mean...
Yeah, it's strong.
I think it's like I don't think you'll see play though. Not unless there's a really strong. I think the only deck it sees play in is like a Lanessa Sun Sorrow deck. But I've said that I think that card's awful, so I don't think it sees any play at all.
No, I really like this card because it enables trades. And 2 mana cycle.
What deck do you run this in?
It's good. Just tempo.
This isn't a tempo card.
Well, no, like, so Murloc
This
Paladin.
Is a trading card.
Yeah, so you run it in Murloc Paladin.
You do not run this in Murloc Paladin.
No?
Murloc Paladin, you're going face.
You could protect your minions quite well. So.
Yeah, but you can protect your minions by playing the Stegodon and just giving them all Divine Shield. Well, yeah, you just play like the 4 mana 5/4. The Megasaur, I think it's called.
Yeah, the 4 mana 5/4. Yeah.
You play your raid callers. You can give them health.
I really like this card, but yeah, I can see what you mean now. But I do like the card though, personally.
I like the card. I just don't think it fits into any Paladin deck. Other than a deck I don't think is going to work if it gets created.
Fair enough, yeah.
I mean, when they showed off the Lanessa, they literally put him in a they literally used a unicorn card, like Unicorn Priest, which was like some sort of mythical deck that no one had found that could make Priest good again. I think it's the Shimmering Corsair, the 4 mana 3/3. Only you can target this with spells and hero powers. I think, the Lanessa thing is going to be like a Unicorn Paladin deck that just doesn't really exist, and it's just a troll by Ben Brode, basically.
Got him again. Fair enough.
That's the final card of Paladin. So the next one is Priest. 7 mana 6/6 Temporous Battlecry. Keep Trolden's job for another couple of years.
Yeah.
What do you think of this card?
You run Arcane Giants, you deal 15 damage. No. Why?
But they get the 2 turns first though, which is the big problem.
You're just gonna die.
So what happens is you give Quest Mage 3 turns instead of the normal 2.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I get 4 turns.
It's a fun card, but
this is the Trolden meme card that everyone is going to see in clips. But I don't think it's a good card at all. Giving your opponent 2 extra turns just to give yourself 2 turns, you're just going to get destroyed. Because it's like there's another dragon that is just useless and you should never play, which is the new version of the other dragon. See if I can find it. How much mana does it cost? These aren't sorted by mana. Hang on. They're sorted by rarity.
Yeah.
Hoarding Dragon, 4 mana, 5/6, death rattle, give your opponent 2 coins. Why would you want to just give your opponent coins? I don't really understand this card.
No.
It's better as a death rattle, actually. I thought it was a battle cry, but apparently it's a death rattle, so that's a bit better than Hungry Dragon. But it's basically the new Hungry Dragon, and what you do is you just help your opponent win the game by getting +1/+1 stats.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the same thing as Temporis is doing. What Temporis is doing is you are just letting your opponent win the game in order to try and get 2 extra turns. I think this is bad. I think it's got good meme potential, but I don't think it'll see any play. I think it's like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah. It's a fun card, but no.
Next card is Dragon Soul, 3 mana, 0/3 weapon. If you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. I think this card sucks. This is like a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10. I don't think you're ever casting 3 spells in a turn after you play a 3 mana spell on turn 3. I don't think you run this in a dragon deck even. I don't think you even care that it summons a dragon.
No. It's if you look at it as a 3 mana 5/5, it's good.
Yeah.
But it's I'm not sure about it. Because with as much weapon hate is going to be in the game.
Yeah, exactly. That for sure is going to get destroyed pretty easily.
Yeah. So, no. Not sure it's worth running.
I don't think there's that many cheap spells in Priest that you want to play, even. Because the way you're going to get this off is you're going to play Lyra, but that doesn't come until way later in the game, and I don't think it's worth even playing it then.
If you're looking at 2 powered shields and a silence, or something like that, I don't think you're going to have the amount of spells you need to activate it.
Because you wouldn't even play some like Raza Priest, where you can play a lot of cheap things to refresh your hero power. Because the dream would be like Raza, because Raza, Shadow Reaper, Anduin. You keep refreshing your hero power and you keep summoning dragons, right? Okay, next is 7 mana Psychic Scream. Shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck. I think this is like a 10 out of 10 card.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is probably one of the best cards they've given Priest. One of the best board clears in the game. It plays around death rattles. You can look at Entomb. Like Entomb was insane in Priest, where you could shuffle a card into your deck. But with this you shuffle all minions into their deck, so it also mucks up their draws if you give them bad cards as well, or stuff like that. And it also clears. It doesn't matter what size the minion is; it's always going to get cleared. And I remember they gave removal to Priest last expansion or the one before. I think it was Pint-sized Potion, Shadow Word Horror, and that didn't get used at all. But then later on, it was used in pretty much every Priest deck, right? Like Big Priest and Raza Priest were using this combo in order to... Because they needed to just clear Jade minions, basically. Because they were too big to, be like Dragonfire Potioned. They needed that to help with smaller minions, and they needed it to help with the really big minions. But this just does both. It just completely clears the board no matter what. It costs look at Twisting Nether. That costs some mana more, and it kills the minions.
Yeah. So
this has potential to be even better.
Yeah. In certain situations, it can be huge.
I mean, you have to look at the downsides though. You are giving them all their cards back in their deck, and you're giving them your cards on the board as well.
Yeah.
So that is something to consider when you play this card. But I think overall, it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, next card, 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, swap this minion's attack with another minions. I think this card sucks. It's like a 1 out of 10. I don't know why this exists. Do you know why this card exists?
No. No.
It's a battlecry where you have to be holding a dragon and then you get to swap a minion's attack with another minion. What is this for?
Vol'jin 2.0?
I don't think so. I think this card is shit.
Yeah. It's just not worth like.
Okay.
So I guess it synergizes with reducing your opponent's attack. So say they have a Lich King, you can play that, Shadow Word Paint it.
Right.
Trying to think of other synergies. To be fair, that plus
you have to play this. It's 3 mana, 2/4, and then you have to swap one minion with another minion, which means you have to have a minion on the board, or your opponent has to have 2 minions, one big, one small.
No. It swaps Twilight Acolyte's attack with.
Oh, swap. Oh, okay. You don't have to. Okay, well, it's still pretty shit, I think.
Yeah. I don't.
Tiny Vol'jin, almost.
Yeah. So. No. I don't want to rule it out. It's not what I want to rule out.
Because it's not like, it's like a tiny Vol'jin, it's really good. You have to be holding a dragon. Like, how many spots do you have left in Dragon Priest to put this in?
Good point. Yeah.
I think it sucks.
Yeah, because I guess you're not going to be running Cabal. I want to say Courier, but that's wrong. What's the steel one? 6 mana.
Secret Agent coming through.
No. Priest card. Steal an opponent's minion with 2 attack or less.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Synergizes with it. But
Cabal something, right?
Yeah.
Cabal Shadow Priest. Take
Yes.
control of an enemy minion that has 2 or less attack. Because you remember, like, potion of pint-sized potion, Cabal Shadow Priest. You had like the Shrinkmeister Cabal Shadow Priest kind of combo back when you had Wild in the format. But yeah, I think this card just doesn't really do anything useful in Dragon Priest. Anyway, next card is Lesser Diamond Spellstone. 7 mana spell, resurrect 2 different friendly minions, cast 4 spells to upgrade. It then goes to 3 minions, and then it goes to 4 minions. I think this is like a 4 or a 5. I don't think it's good enough to see a lot of play, but it might be a one-off in like Big Priest.
Yeah, I agree. Big Priest is the deck that's going to run it. I don't. I reckon Big Priest will run it, but that's the only one. That's the only choice.
But you look at Eternal Servitude and you pay 4 mana and you get 1 minion. But then, do you really want to be paying 7 mana to get 2 minions? And then you have to play 4 spells to upgrade it? I mean, Big Priest has a lot of spells because it doesn't have any minions other than the big ones, but how often are you pulling this off and getting, like, you know, massive boards? Because it has to be different friendly minions. So you can't Barnes into like Yasharaj and get like, or if you can't like Barnes into Obsidian Statue, you play this, you'll get an Obsidian Statue and Barnes, right? It has to be 2 different friendly minions is the key text here.
Yeah.
So you can't get the same minion twice.
No.
which makes it a lot worse. Which means you have to play a lot of big minions in order for this to go off, which makes this a really late game card, whereas compared to Eternal Servitude, you play Barnes on 3 with the coin or 4, and then you can instantly get back your Obsidian Statue, your Yasharaj, your whatever, your Lich King.
Yeah.
I think this is maybe a one-off, so I'm going to give it a 5 or 4.5, but I don't think it's like a great card.
No, I think just Big Priest.
Okay, next card is 4 mana 3/3 Duskbreaker. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other minions. This is a 10.
Like, you run Hellfire, you're Dragon Priest.
You get a dragon that basically does excavated evil to everything in Priest. Yeah. This is insane.
It's just, yeah.
I think this card is so good.
Yeah. And because unlike the 2 mana dragon card, which isn't a dragon.
Yep.
Oh my god, I'm blanking on cards today.
Are you talking about what?
Yeah, the librarian.
The historian.
Oh, historian. Sorry, yeah. Unlike historian, it is a dragon itself, so it adds to the synergy.
Yeah, so the thing with Netherspite Historian is it was really good in Dragon Priest in Standard because you're always guaranteed to draw Secret Agent coming through because of the way that class distribution works in Discover. So you had like a super high chance of drawing your Draconite Operative.
Yep.
But now, I think you now have a high chance of drawing Duskbreaker, which is good. But the other thing that messes it up is that the class card can also be Temporous now, which makes it a lot worse. So we'll have to see, because Temporous now adds a 33% chance to draw that dragon on one of the Discovers.
Yeah.
Because with Draconite Operative is like really good, Duskbreaker is excellent, and then Temporous is awful. So we're going to have to see how that affects Netherspite Historian's draws when it comes to offering you a Priest class dragon. Okay, I think we both agreed this card is revolutionary there.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 mana Twilight's Call, summon 1/1 copies of 2 friendly Death minions that died this game. This is confirmed to work in Death Rattle Quest Priest. So maybe you run it in that, but that doesn't really exist in Standard, so I don't think it'll really see that much play in Standard. I think this card's okay. I think it's like a 3.5 or a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, it's verging on good.
Yeah.
Is what I'd want to say. Yeah, it's a potential.
If you didn't run this in the Quest Priest, what would you run it in?
Some deck that runs Karen.
I think there is potential for Big Priest. Just because of Obsidian Statue.
Yes.
Having a 1/1 Obsidian Statue might be good. Because it's like, I think it's the only Death Rattle you run in Big Priest, right? And it summons friendly Death Rattle minions.
Yeah, and I guess it does. Oh wait, no. No, it encounters the same issue as Spellstone, so ignore me.
Yeah,
carry on.
You can only summon 1 Death Rattle.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it could. It has potential. But
I don't think it's going to see play in anything, really.
No, it's good on paper, but just not good, I guess.
Next card is 3 mana, Unidentified Elixir. It's a priest spell. Give a minion +2/+2, gain a bonus effect in your hand. Your bonus effects are Death Rattle, return this minion to your hand, Lifesteal, Divine Shield, or summon a 1/1 copy of it. I think this card sucks.
Yep.
If you look at Velen's Chosen, you were getting like +2/+4 and spell damage. And on this, you're getting +2/+2, and you're getting like Lifesteal, Divine Shield. Sometimes you get 1 copy. Sometimes you get a Death Rattle, return this minion to your hand. I don't really like these cards that are getting buffed in your hand. I think there's too random variation even before you play it.
Yeah.
And I think most of them are just underwhelming in order to not fuck people over by making one random effect really strong and one random effect really weak. I think they're all kind of mediocre in order to kind of balance the randomness, but I think it just makes the card overall a lot weaker.
Yep, definitely. It's just not playable.
Yep. Next card is Gilded Gargoyle. 3 mana 2/2 Death Rattle, add a coin to your hand. I think this card was probably a rogue card at one point, and they just randomly added it to Priest for some reason.
I think it's just been added because of Dragon Soul, and I don't think it's worth it. It's just pointless. I think that's the only synergy you're going to get out of it.
Actually, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I think it was added because of Dragon Soul. There's potential for a lot of damage in one turn if you wanted to run 2 of these, and then you could do like Velen's Mind Blast.
Yeah, I was just
Mind
thinking.
Blast.
Would you run it in Razakus?
But that's only... No, you don't run this card in Razakus, I don't think. Because you don't always run the Velen's Mind... You don't always run the Mind Blast in...
I think you might run that with Auctioneer in a Razakus.
I don't think so.
Again, back to my favourite card at the minute, Razakus. Not Razakus, Auctioneer.
I think Auctioneer is going to be running this expansion for sure, but I think it's going to be running Rogue.
Yeah.
I think Rogue's the only deck that's running.
I don't know. I'm going to go with a 6.
A 6?
Well, on your scale, a 6. On my own scale, it'd be like a 4. But
what's your own scale? What does your scale differentiate from mine?
Well, on my scale, if it's not playable, it's a 2 or a 1 or a 3, pretty much.
My scale. Why don't we use the same scale? My scale as a 5 or above is playable. So you'd say it's playable.
Yeah, possible playable.
I think this is like a 3 out of 10. I don't think it's playable.
Okay.
I think it sucks too much. Okay, 1 mana, Psionic Probe. It's a spell. Copy a spell in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. I think this sucks. It's kind of... You can look at just like Mind Vision and see how useless that is. I mean, you might run...
Mind Vision at least gives you information on their hand as well.
This gives you information on their deck, but most of the time you know what deck they're playing, but you don't know what's in their hand, so you don't know what to play around. I think this card was like another, as you said before, meant for Dragon Soul card, where you're going to be playing lots of spells in one turn. You can get this off Lyra, and this is really good in Lyra.
But I'd rather run Mind Vision than that time. So.
This card's
get
good.
Out of here.
This card's good for Lyra. It's good to get off Lyra.
Yeah, good to get off Lyra, I guess. Yeah.
But I think overall this card, it sucks. It's like a 3. It's not the worst card.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Priest. I think Priest is pretty good with dragons and Psychic Scream. Next is Rogue. 3 mana 2/2 Sonya Shadow Dancer. After a friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 copy of it to your hand. It costs 1. I think this card is bad, but I think you think this is good.
Battle cries are insane with it. But
Right, but people have been saying you run this in like the Quest Rogue, right? But in Quest Rogue you don't want to trade.
No.
And in Tempo Rogue you don't trade.
No, I don't think you run it in Tempo.
So what deck does this run? Do you run this in? Because Quest Rogue seems like the best fit, but you don't want to play a 3 mana 2/2 on turn 3 and then proceed to start trading your minions.
Does this have potential with Jade Rogue?
No.
No.
You don't play a 3 mana 2/2 in Jade Rogue.
I think you just have to have the board presence
setup.
Jade Rogue is already the slowest Jade deck with the 2 mana. What's it? The ambushes and the you have to combo the shurikens to get them to work. It's already the slowest one, and I don't think you can run this in a Jade deck. I think this is like a 3.5 out of
I think
10.
at the end of the day, you have to have it set up, but your opponent has a turn to sort that out before you get an opportunity to use the legendary.
I think people were wrong about Quest Rogue before when they said it wasn't going to be that good, but I think this is not a Quest Rogue card. I don't think it's good enough to put in Quest Rogue. And I think if you're putting like a 3-drop in Rogue, you'd want to put like Shaku for sure. Like Shaku just seems like way better than this.
Shaku is...
Because Shaku can go face, and it gives you value.
Yeah.
Are you eating prawn crackers or something, Andy?
I'm eating Pringles.
Okay.
I'm trying not to ruin your stream, but...
Okay, 1 mana, 1/3 Kingsbane, Death Rattle. Shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments. I'm going to give this like an 8 out of 10. I think this card is insane. This card's so good.
Works with Boomerang as well.
And, you mean Doomerang.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
And it means you can run it in Mill Rogue because you never get fatigued.
Yeah. It's good. Very good.
If you get down to fatigue of Mill Rogue, you equip this. You can go face. You use your hero power, destroy the weapon. It goes back in your deck.
Yeah.
You never
Again,
fatigue.
it's not bothered by weapon hate.
Mm.
And the fact you just get a poison. What's it called? Oh god, I'm so bad with names.
Wait, deadly poison?
That's one deadly poison on that. It's just broken.
I think you run double deadly poison. I think you run maybe 1 leeching poison because Rogue needs a bit of healing to keep them going.
Yep.
Especially
if you're running weapons all the time.
I don't think you run Envenom Weapon though, because I think it's just too bad to run.
Yeah.
But to mention this in Wild, Tinker's Oil is insane with this card. Tinker's Oil is so good on this. You could make you can make a Kingsbane Tinker Oil Deadly Poison deck and just create like this massive weapon that never goes away.
Yeah. Yeah. Be huge. Be amazing.
When it says it keeps any enchantments, does it keep added? Is it just spells you cast in it, like Deadly Poison? Can you get buffs from like Captain Greenskin, where you get +1/+1? Will it keep that?
I believe it does, yeah.
So you could get a permanent 2/4 weapon with that, or like a Naga Corsair +1 attack, maybe. Are we sure we know how this card works properly?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions about it, but overall it is going to be for sure.
Hmm. You could run this in like a pirate deck as well. I'm just thinking about that. This would be really good in a pirate deck, right? Because you just get this big weapon and you play like the 2 mana 2/3 that gets plus attack.
Yes, but it shuffles into your deck, not your hand. Is the issue.
I don't think you really care about that though, right? Because you're already pretty far ahead with like pirates and you just keep going face and be a smart boy. And then you like never run out of cards because you always got Kingsbane.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's too slow for Pirate Rogue, but maybe it isn't. I think this card fits into like every Rogue deck, almost. Maybe not Tempo Rogue. Maybe I don't think you run this in Keleseth Rogue, right?
No, I don't think you do.
But other than like Keleseth Rogue, I think every other you don't run this in Quest Rogue. But you can run this in like a Deadly Poison kind of tempo-ish Rogue deck that isn't Keleseth. You know? Like a control rogue deck. Like a Gadget Zan Auctioneer deck.
Yeah.
Or you definitely run this in Miracle Rogue for sure.
Oh, huge, yeah. Yeah.
I think this card's insane. Okay, next card is 4 mana Falderai Strider. Battlecry, shuffle 3 ambushes into your deck. When drawn, summon a 4/4 spider. I'm giving this card a 9 out of 10. Andy?
For the Kingsbane, yeah?
No, Falderai
Oh.
Strider.
Strider.
Yeah, I'm giving this card a 9 out of 10.
Ooh.
You get ambush.
It's nice, but it's not that nice.
You get ambush on a 4/4, and Rogue has no 4-drops. Rogue needs a 4-drop, and this is one of the best 4-drops in the game. This card is insane. This definitely goes in Rogue, for sure.
Yeah, it's playable. I'm not doubting that. I just wouldn't quite rate it that high.
I think this is one of the best cards of the set. I think Rogue is really strong with this card. I think this goes in almost every Rogue deck, other than Quest Rogue, right? You play this in Miracle Rogue, you play this in like a Tempo Rogue deck, you play it in like a Control Rogue deck.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Good.
Yeah. What's your rating for it then?
I'm gonna go with 7.
I thought you said it wasn't playable.
No, I said it is playable.
Okay.
It's just not in every deck.
I almost gave this a 10 out of 10 because this card is insane.
I will see play. It won't see huge amount of play.
I think this is in every Rogue deck.
Okay.
Next card is 2 mana Secret. First expansion, Rogues are getting secrets. 2 mana Evasion. Secret, after your hero takes damage, become immune this turn. This card sucks. It's like a 3 out of 10. The only deck you put it in would be Mill Rogue, but it's nothing like Ice Block. It just sucks.
Yeah, no, why bother? Your opponent's just going to attack your face with 8 damage and then
I think it's probably the best Rogue Secret out of the 3.
Yeah.
Because it could be useful to stop yourself from dying 1 turn in like a super control rogue deck like Mill Rogue. You can't save you from fatigue damage though because secrets don't trigger on your turn.
No.
But if you need to survive board damage, it would be pretty useful. So I'm going to give it like a 3 out of 10. I don't think it's going to be a great card. I do think secrets overall make a class a lot stronger because it means there's always something to play around more, which kind of mind games, and it makes the class overall a lot harder to play against. So that's always a bonus. So the next card is 5 mana, Lesser Onyx Spellstone. Destroy 1 random enemy minion, or play 3 Death Rattle minions cards to upgrade, and then if you upgrade, it destroys another minion. I think this card sucks.
I think it's strong, but the Death Rattle cost just sets it back so much.
I think this card sucks so much. Like, look at Vile Spine, or look at, it's kind of like a Bear Assassinate, but it's a random enemy minion, so it might actually be worse than Assassinate, considering it's just impossible to get the Death Rattle cards to get going. Because you could play this in like a Death Rattle Jade Rogue, but I think even then you'd rather play like some Vile Spines, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because the randomness just really fucks it up. Anyway, next card. Yeah, I think Lesser Onyx Spellstone is like a 2 out of 10. Okay, next card is a 4 mana 3/3 Kobold Illusionist. Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 copy of a minion from your hand.
What? Summon Karen. I mean, it's got a death rattle on itself, so
You don't have to summon a Death Realm minion, so you could summon like a Malagus.
yeah. But I think the death rattle just makes it too vulnerable.
Yeah, you can't activate it on your turn. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think this is like a 3.5 or a 4 out of 10 though. I think it has potential in some like crazy combo deck. But I don't think it'll see like much play.
Yeah.
Okay, next card is 4 mana, 3/2, Elven Minstrel, combo, draw 2 minions from your deck. I think this card might be a bit overrated, but I think it's still playable. I think it's like a 6 or a 7.
I would. Yeah, I think it's really strong.
I know
personally.
a lot of people are like saying this is like a 10 out of 10 card. I think it may be a bit weaker than that, but I still think it's a really strong card.
I mean, I think it's definitely a 9.
It's a 9.
I think it's a 9.
I think it's a 9, as in German word for no.
Oh, you got me.
Got him!
So, yeah, no, it's like 3/2 is okay stats. Draw 2 cards with the combo. The combos in Rogue's not hard to get. So, yeah, definitely worth playing. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? What minions do you want to draw from that? Because you have to combo this to make it useful. Because it's a 4 mana 3/2, so it has awful stats for the cost. What minions do you want to draw from this?
I think it's just the fact you are drawing cards makes it good.
Right. But if you're building a deck as a rogue, what rogue deck does this go in, and what minions do you want to draw?
Sherazin is huge. Just good minions. It doesn't like as long as you're not drawing all your pirates.
There's no minion based rogue deck at the moment.
No, well, tempo rogue.
Well, yeah, tempo rogue you might run this in.
Yeah, but then it becomes harder to get the combo off because you're sort of running minions as opposed to 0 cost spells or whatever. But yeah, no, I think you just if you're drawing SI7 and Sherazin, it's a good card. I would definitely run that in Miracle. Plus, it thins out for the auctioneer as well. Thinking about it,
yeah,
so
thinning cards is always really good, which is why I rate it so high. I'm just trying to think, how easy is it to combo this card on turn 3? And what minions are you wanting to draw? Is what I'm trying to think of to try and evaluate it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I personally would just go backstab and use it on turn 4.
You need backstabs and probably counterfeit coins in your deck, right?
Possibly, yeah. If you're looking to play it early for the draw, I don't see that being too much of an issue playing it later on. I just think it's a good card.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's like a 7 or a 6. But I don't think it's like the best card in the set. I think Rogue's really strong, and this is a strong card, but I think the 4-drop spot is going to be for Falderai Strider.
Okay. Yeah.
You get a strong body, you get an immediate effect, and it's something that pays dividends later down the line.
Okay.
I don't know. The 4-drop's going to be interesting to see what people go for if they run. At the moment the 4-drop spot is filled by Sherazim and how long can this go on? What's it called? Saronite Chain Gang, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it turns out.
Okay.
Next one, 2 mana Secret Cheat Death. When a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand. It costs 2 less. This sucks. Why wouldn't you just play Shadow Step?
Yeah.
This is a 1. Next secret, 2 mana Sudden Betrayal. Secret, when a minion attacks your hero, instead it attacks one of its neighbours. 2 mana
No.
Sudden Betrayal.
Rubbish. Get out of here.
It's Betrayal as a secret, which means you can play it earlier. You don't have to hold back the You don't have to hold back the card and wait for something.
And Betrayal hits 2 minions.
Yeah, I think this card sucks. It's like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, appalling.
Okay.
Cavern Shiny Finder. Draw a weapon from your deck.
I think this is really good. I think this is like a 6 or a 7, just solely because of Kingsbane.
Correct. Definitely. Huge card.
I think this is going to be played.
Because you're essentially running 3 Kingsbanes in your deck.
I think of all the classes we've seen so far, I think the best classes are going to be Priest. I think it's Priest, Rogue, and then maybe Druid, depending on what they get. Depending on how good some of their cards are.
Yeah. Be interesting.
So the next class is Shaman. So the first card is the 8 mana weapon, the legendary, the Rune Spear. After your hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it at random targets. This card sucks. This is a meme card.
Yeah, meme card. It's basically Tortolian, but shit. Next.
Okay. I think this is another Trollden card. Next is a 6 mana 7/7 elemental. Button cry. Return your other minions to your hand. They cost 1. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I think this is really good. I don't think it's like insane though, as other people have been saying.
I think if you play, I don't know. I'm trying to think what you can play for 4 mana. Is the thing, because I think if you just play it on a big board, sure, that's great, but you might as well play Bloodlust and win the game. But it is a very strong card.
You're saying it might be a win more card?
A little bit, yeah. But at the same time, if you get it on like Aya, I mean, you'd be happy just to get it on Aya, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? So,
well, do you play that in a Jade Shaman deck, or do you place it in an Elemental Shaman deck?
Elemental is huge as well, actually.
Because you can get back
Blaze Caller,
and you can replay Alakir for 1 mana.
Yeah.
Wait. If you have Alakir on the board and you attack twice, that's 6 damage. This is if you don't have a Flame Tongue. So you might have a Flame Tongue on the board, but let's just say you don't. You play Alakir and you do 6 damage. You pass the turn. He doesn't kill Alakir. He might hit the Divine Shield off or something, right? You then attack face twice for like another 6, which is 12 damage.
Yeah.
You then play Grumble, and then you then put your Alakir for 1 mana. You then do another 6 damage, which is 18 damage. Like, I think there's a lot of, like, you look at like Leroy as well. You could do like some insane combo with Leroy as well. Like, I'm just thinking of all the charge cards that can go face and are smart cards. They're really good potential for like a 1-turn kill with this sort of thing. Because you look at this card and you compare it to Thaurissan, and this card is just insane. Like, you saw how strong Thaurissan was, and that was a 6 mana 5/5 that reduced your cost of your cards by 1. This reduces all of your minions to 1 that are on the board. So, and Shaman usually has a board anyway. Shaman's very good at building a board.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Next card, 5 mana 5/5, Windshear Stormcaller, Battlecry. If you control 4 basic totems, summon Alakir the Windlord. I think this is not going to see play, but I am going to play it because I like the meme of having a totem casino Shannon where your entire deck is about summoning random totems to try and summon Alakir.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
I think this is like a 3 or a 2 out of 10. I'm going to be playing Windcaller Stormcaller, Windshear Stormcaller with Primal Talismans and Kobold Hermits. I think this is definitely the best card out of the Totem Synergy cards they've given.
Yeah.
From this set. But yeah, the other ones are just too bad to make this worth playing.
Yeah.
Next card is 1 mana, Unstable Evolution. Transform a friendly minion into one that costs 1. 1 more, repeatable this turn. You can go up to 10 casts. I think this card's good. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's maybe a run 1 of in Evolved Shaman. I think this is like a 6, maybe. I think it will see play, but I don't think it's going to be like an insane card that's going to revolutionize Evolved Shaman.
No. It's a decent card.
It's good for when you need to fill mana on those awkward turns where you only have like 1 minion.
Yeah.
But hopefully on Evolved Shaman you don't have those turns because you're playing like an aggressive deck and you have lots of minions on the board. And you want to hit a lot of minions with that Evolved Doppelgangster combo, right?
It's for that situation where you're a little bit behind and to catch back up.
There's that situation when you have like no cards in your hand and you have to summon a totem and then you just upgrade it like 8 times.
Yeah, that's potential.
That's if you don't have. I suppose you don't need to do that though with Thrall Deathseer, because you can't summon the totem once you play Thrall, and then at that point you just upgrade it with your hero power. I'm thinking about this card because I don't own Thrall.
Okay.
This card's way better if you don't own Thrall Deathseer, the Death Knight. Maybe it's not good enough to run in Evolved Shaman.
Yeah. It's tricky, actually. Yeah.
You never run this over Evolve, I don't think.
Oh no.
I think
Evolve.
I think this might be. I
wide.
think this will see play maybe as a one-off, basically. All right. Next card is Lesser Sapphire Spellstone. Summon 1 copy of a friendly minion. Overload 3 mana crystals to upgrade. I think this card sucks.
Yeah.
I think there is a deck that exists, that's going to exist, that it could be running, so I'd say it might be playable in that deck, but I think the deck's going to be shit, so I still think it's really bad.
In Wild, you run this Thurson and Ancestor's Call with Malagos. There you go. You got 4 Malagoses on the board.
I think in Standard you run Flame Reef Faceless, you run Earth Elemental, you run you run the Overload Giant, and then you try and overload yourself massively, and then you copy the Flame Reef Faceless, you copy the Earth Elemental, you copy the Overload Giant, and that's how you get value out of it, basically. That's the deck that I think is going to exist. Whether it's just a meme deck that's pretty shit, there's a high possibility. I don't think it's going to be a meta-defining deck. I think Shaman got awful cards this expansion. Okay. Next card is 3 mana Primal Talisman. It's a spell. Give your minions Death Rattle, summon a random basic totem. So I think most of the time you're basically just going to have Ancestral Spirit on your totems, basically. They're just going to resummon themselves when they die.
Yeah.
I think this card's bad. It's going to be like a 1 or a 2. I think it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst Shaman cards. I'm going to run it. It's worse than Spirit Echo, basically, in every way.
Yeah.
But I think I might try and run it if I get it for my Windshear Stormcaller. Summon a bunch of Alakirs, kind of deck.
Yeah.
The RNG Shaman deck. 2 mana Murmuring Elemental. 1 mana, 1/1 Battlecry. Your next Battlecry this turn triggers twice. I think this is like a 4 or a 3.5. I don't think it's good enough to see play, but I think it's almost close enough. I just don't think there's any Battlecries good enough in Shaman.
Blazecaller or
Grumble. Grumble doesn't do anything.
What's the old elemental legendary?
Calamos.
Yes, I think it would go with Calamos extremely well.
It has to be on this turn though.
Yeah, Calamos is 8.
Yeah, so you can just on turn 10 do that combo. You can do Windshear Stormcaller with this. So for 7 mana you can potentially summon 2 Alakirs.
You wouldn't have the board.
No, you wouldn't.
Wide enough.
You need because you have to have 4 totems, and then you have to play 2 more, which means you can only summon 1. So that combo is actually useless.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. Healing Rain. Good card.
I think this card. Wait, we didn't evaluate. I said like 4.5.
Oh, okay.
I said like 4 or 3.5.
I'm going with 5 to 6.
Okay. Healing Rain, restore 12 health divided randomly among all friendly characters. I think this is like a 6. I think this will see play.
Yeah.
I think this card's really good. I think you look at cards like Healing Touch, I think it was, or something. Healing something.
Yeah, it was.
The Joust card that healed you for 7, and then if you got one, the Joust that healed you for 14. This is 12 health healing. I think this card's really good.
Uh-huh.
I think... I like that it can heal your minions. It's kind of like a healing volcano that can't target the enemy minions. This is the ultimate counter to Priest with Northshire Clerics out, because they play double Northshire Cleric and you just make them mill their entire deck. That's pretty funny.
Yep. That would be good.
But I definitely think this card's going to see play. There's space in the 3 mana slot in Shaman now that Hex has been nerfed. So I definitely think there's space for this card. Okay, next card is, of course, the 2 mana 1/1 Kobold Hermit. Battlecry, choose a basic totem, summon it. This card sucks. It's a 1 mana. It's a 2 mana 1/1. It's a 1 or a 2 in terms of evaluation. I'm gonna play it in my meme Alakia Casino deck. But yeah, it sucks. It's not gonna be played in any standard deck. Final card is 2 mana Crushing Hand. Deal 8 damage to minion, overload 3. This card sucks. The only reason you'd consider it is because Hex got nerfed. And the only other reason is because it has Overload 3, which is really good for your lesser Sapphire Spellstone Overload Giant deck that might exist and might be okay. So I'm going to give it like a 3 to a 2. I think it's pretty bad though.
Yeah.
So that's Shaman. I think Shaman has some of the weakest cards other than Grumble and Healing Rain. The next class is Warlock. First up we have Rin. I'm giving this card a 2 out of 10. I think this card is awful.
It's so slow.
It's so slow. You're literally giving yourself a quest to play like Jade. You're playing like Jade Warlock, where you summon a 2/2, a 3/3, a 4/4, a 5/5, and then by the time you destroy your opponent's deck, you're probably destroyed most of it anyway just by them drawing their cards. Like, I don't think it has a big enough effect. I think
no, when it goes off, it's not going to have the desired effect at all, unless your opponent plays Millhouse.
Yeah.
Done.
So
I guess if your opponent plays Millhouse, you win the game anyway.
Yeah. So I think this card's pretty bad. I think most people, when they saw this, pretty excited for a control Warlock card, but I think you don't run this. I think you just run all the new demons, and you just run Blood Reaver Gul'dan, and you don't bother with this shit. Next card is Skull of Manari, 5 mana 0/3. This card's really cool. It's really good. The only problem is there's going to be a ton of weapon removal in this expansion, which means this card is going to be really bad because of it. I think as the expansion goes on, there's going to be less and less weapon removal played as people kind of give up the weapon aggression, you know, as they kind of go, okay, I don't need to play Ooze in every deck, right, because some of the weapons suck. You know, I don't need to destroy every legendary weapon.
No.
So there will be a time towards the end of expansion where you can play this, and I think at that point I would rate this card like a 6 or 7. I think this card's really good. But I think at the start of the expansion, is it playable? I don't think so. It's like a 4. It's almost good enough. But the thing is, it's at the start of your turn, which means you don't get initial value just by playing it. You have to at least get, you know, 1 card out of it for it to be valuable, and you don't if it gets destroyed straight away. So yeah, I think it's good enough in the beginning of the expansion when there's too much weapon removal. It's a good card overall though. Random demons are really good this expansion because they've added a whole lot of fantastic demons to the pool.
Yeah.
And you summon it from your hand actually, so it's
Yeah, so
this card's even
you
better.
can sort of specify what it is, but obviously you're gonna run out of demons over time.
Well, you could play this on 5 and you can summon like a Void Lord, which is like insane value. Go to the next card. So 9 mana, 3/9 Void Lord, Taunt, Death Rattle, summon 3 1/3 demons with Taunt. I think this is like a 9 or a 10, in my opinion, in terms of how good it is. I think this card is really good.
I was gonna go 8. It's not aggressive enough, but apart from that, it's insane. That makes any sense?
I think it's like a 9 out of 10, I think, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because it's got the demon tag, it has the Sludge Belcher effect, and it summons more demons. I think the only problem is that the Void Callers might mess up your Blood Reaver Gul'dan. I don't think that's something some people have kind of thought about. They think, I might, get like a bunch. I'll get like 2 Void Lords, 2 Despicable Dreadlords. You might get like a Vulgar Homunculus, but then people need to realize, well, it also gives you the 1/3 Void Lords. You might get those. They might fill up the space. You might get the Kobold Librarian.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look at Blood Reaver Gul'dan. Is it minions that died that game or the ones you summoned?
It's
Summon all friendly
died.
demons that died this game. So it will in fact summon the 1/3 Void Walkers that it summons.
Yeah.
It has a chance to summon those if you've played more than 7 demons that game, which is in likelihood, because in Void Lords itself you're playing like 4 demons because you play the initial Void Lord and then you get the 3 Void Callers, presuming that they die as well. So you kind of dilute Blood Reaver Gul'dan, which is kind of a negative to this card. So it might not be as strong as I thought.
I think you run 1 copy if you're running Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
If you're running like a cruel Blood Reaver Gul'dan deck, this card's insane. You can get it out pretty. You can get it out of your hand really easily. Then it dies, and then it comes back with Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
I think you just go mad. You type in demon, select them in cost order from max to min.
I think, this is like an 8, I think, in terms of power, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty good.
The big negatives are that it's 9 mana and that the Void Walkers might mess up your Blood Reaver Gul'dan resummon. But other than that, this card's really good. And the fact that it has 3 attack is really good if you ever play a deck with Masked at Oakheart, where you play 9 mana and you battlecry, recruit a 1 attack minion, a 2 attack minion, and a 3 attack minion. Then you can instantly summon the Void Caller because it's a 3 attack minion.
Yeah.
And then you can play like a really good 2 attack minion and a 1 attack minion. I don't know. That could be a deck that exists. But yeah, I think this card's like at least an 8 out of 10. I think this card's really good. And it's a demon, which is like insane. So the next card is 4 mana spell, Cataclysm. Destroy all minions, discard your hand. I think this card's super good. I think this is a discard lock card. It's basically like a 4 mana Deathwing effect. So you just discard your entire hand, you complete the quest, you keep summoning imps, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think this card's like at least a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll go with 7.
Because it's also a board clear as well. Because you're completing the quest and you're destroying anything that's on the board.
Yeah.
Which is pretty insane. Yeah, I think this is like a 7 out of 10. I think this card's really good in the start lock. Would you run this in a Control Warlock deck? I don't think so.
No.
I think you'd rather have Twisting Nether, Hellfire, stuff where you're not discarding your entire hand because you're playing big control minions.
It's the discard that is huge. Just deciding whether you want it or not.
Next card is 5 mana, Possessed Lackey, a 2 mana 2/2 minion, Death Rattle, Recruit with Demon. This card sucks. It's like a 1 out of 10.
Too slow.
Yep. Next card, 4 mana, Leather Amethyst Spellstone, Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion, take damage from your cards to upgrade. I think this is like a 9 out of 10. This is insane. Probably one of the best cards of the expansion. Because it doesn't go up 3, 4, 5. It goes 3, 5, 7, And taking damage from yourself in Warlock is so easy because you have the Kobold Librarian coming in, you have the Vulgar Homunculus coming in, you have your hero power, you have Hellfire, you have like so many cards that deal damage to your face. So you're instantly like, just by tapping once in Warlock, it's a 4 mana, 5 damage to a minion, heal for 5. And Warlock needs healing so bad. Like, this card is so good.
Insane. It's great.
It's fantastic. I think this is one of the best Warlock cards they've released.
Yeah. It's great. Great card.
Yeah.
Amazing card.
I think it's definitely going to see play.
Yeah.
Okay, next card is a 4 mana 4/4 Demon, Hooked Reaver. Battlecry, if you have 15 or less health, gain +3/+3 and Taunt. I think this card's going to see some play as a kind of replacement for Molten Giant, but I don't think you're going to run it in the Blood Reaver Gul'dan Cruel deck. Because when it comes back, it's a 4 mana 4/4. It's not a 4 mana 7/7 with Taunt, right? And if you play it with Cruel, you're not getting the Battlecry either. So it might be run in like a super late game control deck that doesn't run these cards. That's more kind of akin to Handlock, where you just run it as a replacement for Molten Giant, right? So I would give it like a 6.
Handlock's the great card for that card.
What do you think of this card?
Yeah, no, in Handlock it's insane. It's a great early card again with Taunt. You don't even need to play a combo of cards to get Taunt on it. So yeah, great card in Handlock. It's just deciding what else are you running in your Handlock. Are you purely running Giants? Are you running Demons?
Do you think that you're in the new kind of Demon Blood Reaver Gul'dan deck that you can run enough self-damage through Kobold Librarian, Vulgar Homunculus, those sort of cards to deal enough damage to yourself where you're down to 15 on turn 4 and you get...
You don't want that and Blood Reaver Gul'dan. It just doesn't synergize with the because it's a battle cry.
Because we already talked about you're dilating the pool with the Void Walkers from Voidlord. This kind of dilutes the pool as well from the resummon. I mean, a 4/4 isn't bad, but you would much rather have the Voidlord. You'd much rather have the Despicable Dreadlord. You'd much rather have Abyssal Enforcer. I think that's a card that's still going to be run. It's still going to be quite important to resummon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think this is definitely going to be run. It's at least a 6. Is it good enough to run in Blood Reaver? I don't know. Next card...
I guess it's just seeing which archetype is strong.
Next card is the Vulgar Homunculus, 2 mana 2/4 Taunt, Battlecry, deal 2 damage to your hero. I think this is like a 10. This card is so good. This is the best Warlock card they have ever made, especially considering it's a demon, it has Taunt, it's 2 mana, it's a 2/4. You know, it gets resummoned by Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
Do you take out the Void Walkers?
Yes.
Yeah, just so.
I don't think you want Void Walker, considering you have Void Lord.
Yeah.
I think this card is crazy good. I think you might even run this in like a mid-range zoo kind of demon deck, where you just run a bunch of you run like Kobold Librarian, you run like Vulgar Homunculus, you just run a bunch of like tempo demons, and like really good mid-range Zooey cards, and then you just run Blood Reaver Gul'dan as like a finisher / something to run in case you get into trouble, and you resummon them and you keep going. I think this card's crazy.
Yeah.
I would give it a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10.
Do you think you can run purely taunts and Blood Reaver Gul'dan and then just sit behind the taunts with your hero power?
Oh yeah, for sure. You're going to be running a lot of taunt demons.
Yeah, I think that's one way of building the deck, potentially.
Are the demons from Rin? They're demons, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So you would that would dilute the pool because you would get 2/2 demon, a 3/3 demon, a 4/4 demon, a 5/5 demon, which would be good. A 6/6 demon would be good. And I believe because they're Fell Hunters, and then when you get Aziz the Devourer, he's a 10/10. So that would be really good to get from Blood Reaver Gul'dan. If you just played Rin, actually, because Rin's not a demon, if you just played Rin and you played all of the this is like talking insane value, super slow stuff.
Yeah.
But if you only played Rin and no other demon, you would get a 2/2, a 3/3, a 4/4, a 5/5, a 6/6, and a 10/10 when you played Blood Reaver Gul'dan, which is not bad. But none of them have taunt.
No. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I still don't like Rin. I think it's just too slow. Okay, next card is Kobold Librarian, 1 mana 2/1, Battle Cry, draw a card, deal 2 damage to your hero. I'm giving this like a 9, maybe even a 10 out of 10. I think this card is, again, fucking amazing. It's also not a demon, so it does not delete the demon pool of Blood Reaver Gul'dan, which is really fucking good.
Oh, yeah. So it's, rather than being 2 mana draw a card, it's 1 mana cycle this card. I think you just play it.
This card is 1 mana player 2/1, which is really good because there's not actually a lot of really good 1 mana 2/1s anymore. It's also 1 mana draw a card, which is fucking insane. It's 1 mana deal 2 damage to your hero, which is really good because it's 1 mana upgrade your Amethyst Spellstone, which is really fucking good. I don't know if you might just play this in Zoo decks though. It might not go in the Blood Reaver Gul'dan deck, but it might as well. I'm definitely probably going to try it.
Yep.
I think this card is like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I think Warlock is like one of the best classes this expansion for sure.
Yeah, it's good to see them getting some nice cards this time around.
So the final card is Dark Pact. Destroy a friendly minion, restore 8 health to your hero. It's nice to have a heal on Warlock, so I think it might see some play. So I think this card's maybe like a 5 or a 6. But I don't think it's insane, because you're not really getting any beneficial destruction like you were with Power Overwhelming, where you could put on like an egg, and then it'd get a bunch of attack, it would kill something, and then it would get destroyed, and you'd summon a 4/4. But with this, you're kind of like, you're destroying something you want to use to get a little bit of health. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think this card's that good. Considering the direction Warlock's gone now, where they're not, even in Zoo, because you don't have that many eggs. Like, you can play Devilsaur Egg, which might be okay, but the thing with playing this card in Zoo is you don't want to just play 1 mana to heal for 8. Because the thing with Power Overwhelming was you were getting your 5/5, you would get like, the Nerubian out of the egg, and you were getting an attack on it, so you could go face or you could trade with it, which is beneficial to keep your board strong. But with this, you're just destroying your own minion to heal, so you're not really doing anything beneficial on board. And considering that Lesser Amethyst Spellstone now exists and is really strong, I don't think Warlock needs this massive heal for destroying one of their really great cards.
Nope.
So I think it's probably going to see some play, maybe as a one-off, maybe in a Cruel deck, or a deck where you're running, maybe you run it in like a controlled Devilsaur Egg deck. Maybe you run it in like a wild deck where you can destroy Nerubian eggs or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's that good. I think it's good enough to see play, just because there's not, apart from Lesser Amethyst Spellstone, there's not that much healing in Standard for Warlock, so it might just see play. It's got the downside that it doesn't destroy an enemy demon, so it's not as good as Sacrificial Pact against Jaraxxus. If Warlock demons are really good, you might actually see Sacrificial Pact as a one-off, maybe.
Yeah.
If like a Cruel deck is really strong, 0 mana heal for 4, destroy like a Void Lord or something is kind of insane.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Something I'm just thinking about now. Might be good enough to run as a one-off, as a tech card against the new demons that are coming up. But okay, so the next card in the card review is the Geosculptor Yip. It's 8 mana for 8. At the end of your turn, summon a random minion with cost equal to your armor up to 10. What do you think of this?
It's rot face.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I saw this, and I was like, this is like an insane infinite value card that's just too slow to ever work in this sort of meta.
Yeah.
So I think this card's like a 3 out of 10 maybe. I think it'll see play. What do you think?
No, it's not going to see play.
Yeah, okay. 8 mana, 3/3 Woe Cleaver. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion. This card sucks.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I can think of is if the only minion in your deck is Leroy, and you attack and you play Leroy and charge him out, or like a charged Devil Saw or something.
Yeah.
If you had like some sort of warrior with charged Devil Saws, and you went face, I don't know there. Alex Straza, Woe Cleaver, attack, charge Devil Saw, attack, charge Devil Saw. That's like a 3-turn kill. Well, you could set up the Woe Cleaver first and just not attack. So you like spend 8 mana doing nothing, spend 9 mana to get them down to 15 and summon an 8/8, which is pretty good. And then you like attack, charge Devil Saw, attack, charge Devil Saw. That's the only thing I could think of that you could make this card useful. Overall, I think it kind of sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Next card is Reckless Flurry, which is a 3 mana warrior spell. Spend all your armor, deal that much damage to minions. I think this card is okay. It might see some play. It's probably about a 5 though. I mean, dealing all of your armor to, all minions is really good because you can get a large amount of armor in warrior, and you can just like destroy like a board of jades. But you can kind of do the same thing with brawl.
Yeah.
And also the main drawback of this card, which I didn't realize until the other day, was it uses all your armor.
Yeah.
You spend all your armor, so you lose all the armor you use on this card. So if you want to deal like 5 damage AoE and you save like 20 armor, casting this spell will use all your armor up.
Yep. It's not worth it.
It might see play in like a Dead Man's Hand warrior. Might see play in like a one-off instead of brawl, but I think it's not going to see too much play. Next card is Bladed Gauntlet. This card is a 1 out of 10. And this card sucks. Could go in a Dead Man's Hand warrior, but
that's about it.
That's about it. Next card is Lesser Mithril Spellstone, which is a 7 mana, summon 1/5/5, equip a weapon to upgrade. There's not that many great weapons you're playing in warrior these days. You're playing like a what's the 4 mana 2/2, the blood weapon.
Oh, Blood Razor.
Blood Razor. And then at that point you're paying 7 mana to summon 2 5/5s, and you're like, well, that's pretty good, isn't it, Joe? And I'm like, well, that's pretty much what Bone Mare does, and it also gives it taunt. So I don't think it's going to be good enough to play. Once again, Dead Man's Hand. Maybe you play this with weapons. Maybe not. 6 mana, gather your party. Recruit a minion is a spell. I think this card is not good enough to run. It might see some play if you just run this and like a deck full of massive minions, but I don't think you're going to be able to do that in warrior.
No.
I think you want to play some early game minions. Like, I think you definitely want to play the Armorsmith or the new Armorsmith, the Dry Whiskey Armorer. You want to play some mid-range minions. I think you're going to lose the board too much if you just only play like big 10 mana minions, which is like what you want to do with this.
Yeah.
You look at like Shadow Essence, right? I think it's called the 6-mana summon a 5/5 copy of the minion in your deck with like Big Priest, and this is like a way better. If this was Kobolds and Priest, this would be fucking insane.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think it really works in Warrior.
No, it doesn't have the support for it.
It doesn't have like the resurrect.
No. Just not well.
There's also a lot of good battle cries in
well, it's like Varian Rin never worked, did it?
Yeah, so next minion is 3-mana 4/4 Kobold Barbarian. At the start of your turn, attack a random enemy minion. This card sucks. It's like a 1 out of 5. You basically it doesn't have charge because it's at the start of your turn, so it doesn't like random. If it randomly attacked as soon as you played it, it would kind of might be worth playing. But you play it, and then at the start of your turn, it just attacks a random enemy minion. It doesn't attack twice. Because once it's attacked. It doesn't have Wind Fury. No. So you're playing 3-mana 4/4 for a card that just randomly attacks people. It attacks a random enemy, so it can attack minions, it can attack face. So it's not always going to do what you want it to do. I think you'd rather just pay 1 more mana and just get charge on a Corcoran Elite. Like, an aggressive warrior deck is always just going to run Corcoran Elite over this card. I think this card's really bad. Next card is the Identified Shield. 6 mana, gain 5 armor, gain a bonus effect. The bonus effects are, as well as 5 armor, you get 10 more armor. So 6 mana, gain 15 armor. 6 mana, gain 5 armor, deal 5 damage, similar to Holy Fire. 6 mana, Rune Shield, gain 5 armor, summon a 5/5 Golem. 6 mana, gain 5 armor, equip a 5/2 weapon. I think this card is pretty shit.
Yeah, again, it's another one of the random ones that just doesn't work.
I think cards that get identified, you get gain bonus effects when they're in your hand, are bad. And I think once again Blizzard's made mediocre outcomes for each of the unidentified effects so as to balance the RNG. I think that's all I got to really say about that. 6 mana, Gem-Studded Golem, Taunt, can only attack if you have 5 or more armor. I think this is like a 7 out of 10. Or a 6 out of 10. I think this will see some play. Maybe Dead Man's Hand, maybe Taunt Warrior. I think Taunt Warrior definitely wants to play this card because a 6 mana 5/9 Taunt is really good. I think you can, once you've got this up, you can have the wall to build up the armor and attack with it. I think this is a really good card for Warrior. I think both the Gem-Studded Golem and the Dry Whiskey Armor are both like the 2 good Warrior cards they've released this expansion. Because we have the 2 mana 2/2 Dry Whiskey Armor, a battle cry for each enemy minion, gain 2 armor. So this is kind of, competing for the 2 spot with Armorsmith. And when they have like a really big board, you can then play this and get a bunch of armor, right? You get like 14 armor if they have a full board.
Yeah.
So I think Gem-Studded Golem and Dry Whiskey Armor are like 7 out of 10s maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
You might run this in Dead Man's Hand once again. So we talked a bit about Master Oakenheart. I think it's okay. I think it's like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. It might see play. Next card is Marin the Fox. We've already played with this card. It sucks. It's like it's like a 3 out of 10.
It's fun.
It's a fun card, but it sucks. King Togwoggle, meme value 100%. I'm gonna make a Weasel Tunneler King Togwoggle deck and just give people loads of cards.
Or use that and Explore and Grow.
Yeah. The combo is you get Skulking Geist in your hand, you play Explore on Guro, you play King Togwoggle, you then have to be like hope they don't play the Ransom, and then you play Skulking Geist and you destroy their entire deck.
Yep.
It's the most memey combo that's never gonna work. Oh wait, no. Temporus. So you give them 2 extra turns and you don't die. You play Mage and you play Ice Block, and then you somehow get Explore on Goro from a random card, and then you turn your deck into Explore on Goro, and then you give them the King Togswoggle. You take your next turn, you give them you give them your deck, you play Skulking Geist, and you win the game. And it's as easy as that. The simple combo. Okay.
Easy.
The Darkness. 4 mana 20/20. Start dormant. Battlecry. Shuffle 3 candles into your enemy's deck. When drawn, this awakens. I think this is bad. I don't think it's anywhere near as strong as people are saying. I think it's like a 3 out of 10 to a 4 out of 10. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Yeah.
4 mana 20/20. The memes write themselves.
It's great. It's not gonna work.
This card makes Evolve better. Evolve weaker, because you don't want to evolve into this card, because if you don't have the Darkness in your deck, you have no way of actually activating it.
Well, it works like Sherazin, so I think it's going to be... I don't know whether it is a physical card that it puts on the board or not. So I don't know how it works with Evolve, to be honest.
Yeah, but Sherazin is a card in itself, and then it goes dormant, but the Darkness starts dormant.
Okay.
So I'm assuming if you evolve into the Darkness, it is a 4 mana 20/20 that's dormant until you get the candles. I assume.
Yeah.
Someone, I was just looking at the comments of this card. Someone said this is arguably the best card of this expansion. It single-handedly destroys Raza Priest. I mean, yeah, it does muck up. It is going to muck up Raza Priest. It is going to muck up Cruel Demon Lock, which I'm guessing might be strong decks for the next expansion. So there's that to consider. I just think it's too slow to play a 4 mana do nothing. And then once your opponent has drawn 3 candles, it then becomes active on their turn, which means because they draw on their turn unless you play Cold Light Oracle, and then at that point they get to spend all their mana destroying it, basically, if they can, because it doesn't. Yeah, it becomes active when they draw the card, which means they most likely have removal for it. So essentially, it could just be a 4 mana do nothing, which I think's really bad.
Yeah, that's the potential for it to be entirely useless.
Because drawing 1 candle does nothing, drawing 2 candles does nothing. So you have a lot of opportunities where you don't complete the quest basically, and it's still you get nothing from it. Because with Ambush, you look at that, and if they draw 1, you get a 4/4, which is really good. And then you put a 4/4 with Ambush into the game on Rogue, and it's really good. Okay, next card is Zola the Gorgon, which, if you don't know, is a cheese pun because she's Gorgonzola. I think it was Mike Donis said the next card reveal is going to be proper cheesy, and then they released Zola the Gorgon. Which is a 3 mana 2/2 battlecry. Choose a friendly minion, add a golden copy to your hand. I don't think it really matters if it's golden or not, doesn't really affect it. So it's just basically 3 mana 2/2, add a minion to your hand. This card is insane in Quest Rogue. Right?
Yeah.
So you just target a Firefly and you add another Firefly to your hand and you complete the quest super fast.
Yeah.
Is this going to be played in slow decks? Probably not. It's probably just not good enough to run in like a slow deck where you want to get infinite value or like a lot of value just from copying a big card, because you never play this early game if you do. So this is going to be like a card for Quest Rogue probably. So it sees play, so I give it a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's that great though.
No.
Okay, 9 mana Dragon Hatcher. At the end of your turn, recruit dragon. Oh, someone was saying, I think it was Toast, he was saying, like, because it's got 2 attack, you can run this in your Master Oakenheart Warlock deck. So you get, like, Void Lord, Dragon Hatcher, and then some random 1 attack minion somewhere. I think overall this card sucks, and I don't think it's going to see any play. I think it's like a 1 out of 10. If they're, okay, maybe
it's so slow. It's bad. It's just a fool.
Maybe you pull it from Oakenheart with your Void Lord in your Warlock deck. your meme deck, but other than that, I just don't see it doing anything. Okay, 8 mana Grand Archivist. At the end of your turn, cast a spell. At the end of your turn, cast a spell from your deck. Target's chosen randomly. So this is a card that could go into Big Spell Mage. Probably not though.
No.
Because it's random. Target's chosen randomly. It's a meme card. Probably. So it's like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, no, it's
poorly sad for an 8 mana card. It does have high health, which is on the better side. So I don't think this is great. 7 mana, Corridor Creeper, 5/5, costs 1 less whenever a minion dies while this is in your hand. I think this card's okay. I just don't think it fits into... I think Hunter's shit and it doesn't really fit into Hunter that well.
No.
This does have potential where you draw this in your opening hand and you play a bunch of like low cost minions and then it becomes really cheap and you play a 5/5. You know, you play a 5/5 and you're like, haha, I got you. But the thing is, with like the totem one, what's it called? The 5/5 taunt that costs 1 less for each totem you've played.
Bollocks. Looks like a squid.
Looks like a squid.
There you go. That's the one.
You really helped me out there, Andy. Thank you. That card is called... Let me just look for it.
What kind of name?
Oh, Thing from Below. So,
that's it, yeah.
Thing from Below is really good because it can be anywhere in your deck. But with this card, it has to be specifically in your hand. If this was buffed 1 less when a minion dies and it was in your deck, I think this would be good enough to see play in Hunter. But because it has to be in your hand, I think it's bad and it's like a 3 out of 10. I don't think it's that good. Okay, next card, Spiteful Summoner. Battlecry, reveal a spell from your deck, summon a random minion with the same cost. This is, of course, trying to go along with high cost mage. I think it sucks, though. I think it's bad. Just play Firelands Portal until it gets rotated out, and then in which case you might want to play this. 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Next card is Carnivorous Cube. 5 mana, 4/6. Battlecry, destroy friendly minion, death rattle, summon 2 copies of it. I think this is like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. This card is really good. One of the best of the set, in my opinion. Insane value. Like, you can play this in a death rattle deck, and then what happens is you destroy it, you get a good death rattle off. This dies, you get 2 good death rattles off that, and then you play N'Zoth and you get even more of them. Like, this is insane value.
Yeah, it has potential. Really has a hell of a lot of potential.
Okay. What are you rating it?
9.
Okay. 5 mana, Arcane Tyrant, 4/4, cost elemental, cost 0 if you've cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. This is, of course, to go in the hypothetical elemental high cost mage deck that I don't think will exist.
No.
So I think this is like a 3 out of 5.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not going to work.
So, next card, 4 mana, 3/3, Beast, Shimmering Corsair, only you can target this with spells and hero power. I think this card's bad. It would probably go in the Paladin deck, where you just cast a bunch of spells to cast the legendary minion. But I don't think Unicorn Priest is going to exist, Ben Brode. I think, we may have we have a unicorn card now, but I don't think you can make a unicorn deck that is good.
No.
So, that's bad.
No.
Void Ripper, Battlecry, swap the attack and health of all other minions. It's a 3/3 demon, which is worth mentioning. But apart from that, I don't think it really does anything. Like, you don't play Confuse, because that was a bad card. Like, just randomly swapping the health and attack of everything isn't really that good.
Yeah.
Like, you could...
Why?
You could play this in a Marin deck, or instead of Craze Alchemist to counter Doomsayer. But at what point, why wouldn't you just play Crazed Alchemist?
Yeah, I don't get why.
The only reason is that it has the demon tag, but I don't think that's relevant at all.
No, I don't think that is at all either.
Okay, 3 mana, Rummaging Kobold, Battlecry, return one of your destroyed weapons to your hand, 3 mana, 1/3. I think this might see play because of weapons being pushed so hard, but I don't think it's good, really, overall.
No, it's not.
I think it's maybe because the weapons that are good already go back to your hand, right?
Yeah.
You already have the rogue weapon. You already have the paladin weapon.
Well, the rogue one goes in your deck, but
yeah, this is only be good for like the warlock one, potentially. I think. Yeah. And I think at that point you probably wouldn't run this card in a warlock deck. So I'm giving it like a 2 or a 3 out of 10, depending on how good. Because it's gonna be way better at the start of the expansion when there's a lot of weapon removal, but it's gonna be way worse when at the end of the expansion when there's not as much.
Yeah.
Next card is a 6 mana 4/10 Taunt Battlecry, summon a random 2-cost minion for opponent. This is super good in Arena. Other than that, it's pretty shit. Because most 2-cost minions are gonna have 3 attack. Which means you're basically playing 6 mana for a 4/7 with Taunt.
Yeah, it's bad card.
Yeah. Next card is the Firbolg Mossbinder, 5 mana 1/1, transform a friendly minion into a 6/6 elemental. Why would you ever play this card when Bone Marrow exists? This is a 1 out of 10. I mean, I don't think the elemental tag really means anything. I mean, of course you can be like, oh, you play it like Acolyte of Pain or something, but you can just Bone Mail that. Why wouldn't you play Bone Mail?
Yeah.
Next card. It's a dragon. Ebon Dragonsmith. 4 mana 3/4. Reduce the cost of a random weapon in your hand. I don't think there's any weapon you want to reduce the cost of in this expansion, other than the Paladin one, but you're already repaying that anyway. And this only goes off once, so you're always going to keep playing the Paladin one over and over again. So I don't think you ever play this, and I don't think the fact that it's a dragon means anything.
No.
So I think this is like a 1 or a 2. It only gets buffed up a bit because the battle cry is useful when it's a dragon. 4 mana 3/6 Kobold Monk. Your hero can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Now this card's really interesting because I think it's the only neutral card that is a 4 mana 3/6. I think I think water elemental is the mage one, and then is there a shaman one that might be around that stat? Yeah, like the shaman have Jinnu Windspeaker, right, which is a 4 mana 3/6. But I think this is the only neutral card that's a 4 mana 3/6, a 4 mana 3/6 in stats, which is really good in terms of stat allocation. And I think the battle cry is actually really strong. Or not the play effect is really strong in the your hero can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, because this is really good against specifically Shadow Reaper, Anduin, Raza Priest. But the only problem is it's a tech card. So you're not running this in most decks. I like the way Blizzard has gone with tech cards. They're not making them auto includes. They make interesting tech cards. I think Mindbreaker was a good tech card. I think Skulking Geist was a good tech card. And I'll talk about the new weapon removal they're adding in the later expansion and my speculation on it. So they've done in the past bad tech cards, such as Lotheb, which were just auto includes because they were so strong. But now we see like Spellreaver and Nerubian, the 6 mana, I think it's a 6 mana 5/5 that makes spells cost 2 more, and that's like a good example of a tech card. Something that's not an auto include but can counter specific decks.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Because the other tech card they've added this expansion is the Dragon Slayer, which is a 3 mana 4/3 battlecry, deal 6 damage to a dragon. And I think this is interesting. I think this is, depending on how good dragons are, it might be run as a one-of tech card, which is kind of interesting, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's basically good luck or crawler, but for dragons.
Okay, next card is Lone Dragon, 3 mana, 2/4. Battlecry. If you control now, the minions gain Taunt and Divine Shield. I think this card's really good. I think it's like an 8. But I think Tar Creeper is like a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, no, Tar Creeper's 10.
So maybe the upside of this is it has the Divine Shield, and it has it can attack for 2 every turn instead of being a 1 attack on your turn. Other than that, I don't think it's like a meta-defining card.
No.
And you have to only have 1 minion when you play this, which is kind of a drawback.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
So,
good.
Shrieking Shroom, 3 mana, 1/2. At the end of your turn, summon a random 1-cost minion. So on average, it's a 3 mana, 3/3 for value, which is pretty awful.
Yeah. No, it's not worth it.
No, it's not really worth it. Not unless there's some crazy combo I'm not seeing. It's a random 1-cost minion. It's not from your deck at all, so you can't combo this. It doesn't take away the card from you, but it doesn't allow you to build a deck around it, which is bad. So 2 mana, 1/2 Scorpomatic. Battlecry, destroy a minion with 1 less attack. You can kind of compare this to Aldor Peacekeeper. It can destroy Doomsayers, it can destroy Annoyatrons, that sort of stuff. I think this card's interesting. I think it might see play. I think it's a 5 out of 10 or a 4.5. The only problem is it can destroy your own minions. It doesn't say enemy minions, so you can destroy your own minions. I'll mention it's a mech, but that doesn't make a difference to it outside of Wild, basically.
Yeah, Wild it makes a difference, but
yeah, I think this might just see play. But I mean, it might just see play against like Acolyte of Pain or Doomsayer. But I think if you're trying to counter Doomsayer, you probably play Crazed Alchemist for the extra attack and flexibility.
Yeah.
1 mana, Gravel Snout Knight. Battlecry, summon a random 1-cost minion for your opponent. This card sucks. This is a 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
It could summon exactly the same card and give your opponent this card, meaning it just does nothing. And the best scenario for this is that you give your opponent basically a 1/1, which makes this a 1 mana 2/2, which is worse than the heal one. So this card sucks. Feral Gibbler, 1 mana 1/1. After this minion attacks a hero, add a copy of it to your hand. I really like this card. It looks like Karibo as well. I like it not because it's strong, because I think it's funny and it's a cool looking card. I think it's like a 2 in terms of strength.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to try and run like a Feral Gibbler Weasel Tunneler deck and just create loads of annoying shit for my opponent. And then you just togwoggle it into their deck.
Why not?
That's the meme card. Anyway, next card, 9 mana 4/12, which is good stat allocation. Sleepy Dragon, it's a 4/12 Taunt Dragon. I think this card's okay. It's okay in Arena. It's pretty good stats. It's got the Ysera stats.
Yeah.
So, because it's basically like a vanilla Ysera with Taunt. So
it's like what? Sorry, a vanilla
Ysera with Taunt.
Yeah. So I don't think it's strong enough for constructed, but it's okay.
It's a good arena card. Like if you look at Mastodon, that's really good. It's like a 9 mana. It's like a 5/10, which is played a lot in arena. So this could be a good arena card.
Yeah.
8 mana Violet Worm, Death Rattle summon 7/1/1 grubs. It's an 8 mana 7/7 beast. It's exactly the same as a Magic the Gathering card that exists. Is it worth playing this? Not really. When you look at
without taunt or anything on it.
When you look at Onyxia, it kind of does the same thing, but it's not on the Death Rattle. Is this worth playing like a big beast deck? I don't think that beast exists. I don't think that deck exists or has enough cards to push towards it.
No.
Next card is the 7 mana 3/3 Silver Vanguard Death Rattle recruit an 8 cost minion. I think this card sucks. I think it's like a 3 out of 10. I think it's slightly better than some of the cards that are shown here. I think if you can pull off the Spike Rich Steed, it might be good enough to play in a Paladin deck, but overall I think it's pretty shit.
Yeah.
Next card is 5 mana 2/4 Guild Recruiter Battlecry recruit minion that costs 4 or less. I think this is going to be too inconsistent. It's really hard to evaluate the recruit mechanic because it is so random, but I think overall this card is shit. Next card, 5 mana 2/2 Fungal Mancer, give your adjacent minions +2/+2. This is nothing like Bone Mare, this is shit. 5 mana 3/3 at the end of your turn, summon a 1/2 ooze with Taunt. I give this card maybe a 3 or a 4 out of 10 just because I remember how annoying Sludge Belcher was to deal with. If you can get this rolling, I think it's okay. I just don't think it's playable. Like you have to protect this card with another card. I mean, it's at the end of your turn, so you immediately get the 1/2 ooze Taunt.
Yeah.
So it could be okay if you can protect it, but the fact that it's a 3/3 means it's really easy to clear off.
Yeah, you need to sort of buff it or something to keep it safe, or play another taunt with it.
Okay, so the next card is the 5 mana 1/5 Trog Gloom Eater. Gloom Eater is a taunt poisonous. This card sucks. Next card, 5 mana 5/5 Corrosive Sludge. Battlecry, store your opponent's minion. So you may be thinking, why did they print, Acidic Swampoos again, but make it cost way more and be worse statted than Swampoos?
Yeah.
My speculation is Blizzard understands that they've made some of their tech cards way too much of an auto-include. So I think the fact that they've said when a card becomes an auto-include, they want to move it to the Hall of Fame. My speculation is Acidic Swampoos might be moved to the Hall of Fame. Harrison Jones might be moved to the Hall of Fame. If those two cards are moved to the Hall of Fame, Corrosive Sludge might see a bit more play. Especially considering that the 3 mana one is going to get rotated out in a... I don't know if it gets rotated out at the same time as this one.
Don't know.
Might do. What's the 3 mana ooze?
The Armageddon one.
Ooze. No, that's the different one. That's the -1 one.
You're on about the Armageddon one, aren't you?
Yeah, when was that printed?
I don't remember.
I'm just gonna look it up quickly. Gluttonous Ooze, I think it was. Yeah. That was in Ungoro, so it doesn't get rotated out the next set expansion. But I think my speculation is Blizzard is trying to print less auto-include tech cards because eventually the basic tech cards that are very strong stat-wise will be rotated out into the Hall of Fame, and they are making these cards because they understand that tech cards can't be too well statted, so they don't become auto-includes. I mean, a 5 mana 5/5 is still good, but it's more expensive because if you remember the Ironbeak Owl nerf, they had to make it more expensive because cheap tech cards are also a problem. You also look back to like the Big Game Hunter nerf as well, right?
Yeah.
It went from 3 mana to 5 mana because cheap tech cards are always a problem in Hearthstone. So I think Blizzard's kind of learning from their mistakes in terms of tech cards. Next card is the 4 mana 5/1 Cursed Disciple Death Rattle Summon a 5/1. This card sucks. It's okay in Quest Druid, but it probably doesn't see play in it, so it's like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because you immediately, you get 1 tick on the quest, you get another tick on the quest. That's 2 ticks once the Death Rattle goes off, but Quest Druid just sucks in general. So. Next card, Hoarding Dragon, 5/6 Dragon, Death Rattle. Give your opponent 2 coins. I don't think you ever want to give your opponent coins, especially when there's so much shenanigans you can do with coins. I think this is another example of Hungry Dragon, basically. It's kind of the same card where you gave your opponent a 1-cost minion. Now you're just giving them coins and giving them more ways to win. I think this card kind of sucks. Like a 2 or 3 out of 10. I don't think it's the worst card because it's well statted. 4 mana 4/4 Shroom Brewer, Battlecry restore 4 health. So it's basically a 1 mana increase to Farseer. It's exactly the same card as Farseer, but it gets 1 more mana, 1 more stats, 1 more health. Might be okay, considering you used to play Funnel Cakes, right? The 4 mana 3/5 give both players 4 health. But I don't think you play this anymore. There's another health giving card, which is Fungal Enchanter, which is a 3 mana 3/3, restore 2 health to all friendly characters. So I think this card replaces Farseer, and I think Farseer replaces this card anyway. So I don't think this card's going to see much play. I think it's like a 2 or 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting card. 4 mana 2/2 Demon, Sneaky Devil, Stealth. Your other minions have +1 attack. I give this like a 3 out of 10. I don't think it sees play. Do you think this sees play in like a mid-range demon deck?
I don't think so. Don't think so.
You kind of look at like the old Blood Imp, where it got stealth and it gave your other minions +1/+1, right? I think was like the original effect of it before it got nerfed into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, it got nerfed pretty hard.
They changed it several times, I believe. So
yeah.
I remember it when it was like originally in the beta. It was pretty broken. The funny thing is about cards that got nerfed in the beta is if you unnerfed them, they would still be shit in today's standards. Anyway, so what do you think this card is in terms of numbers?
Struggling. I don't.
It's probably like a 3 out of 10, right? It's not good enough to be played, but it's not the worst card.
I was gonna say sort of 3 to 4, but I don't think it's quite gonna be playable. Yeah.
Okay. Next card, 3 mana 3/2 Boisterous Barge, gives your other minions +1 health. It's worse than Argus. It sucks.
Yeah, pointless.
3 mana Stone-Stem Basilisk, Divine Shield Poisonous 1/1. Gotta mention that it's a beast, which means it's going to be included in Build the Beast. Every beast we've mentioned so far is in Build the Beast.
Holy shit, that's fucking huge.
So, this card sucks. It's like a 1 out of 10. But
Build a beast, man.
You can give another beast Divine Shield, Poisonous, and +1/+1.
Yeah.
For 3 mana, which is okay.
Yeah.
Sewer Crawler is Razorfen Hunter. Next card, Kobold Apprentice, 3 mana 2/1, deal 3 damage randomly split among all enemies. This is like a Mad Bomber that's learned to aim, except you pay 1 more mana and it's got terrible stats, so it's shit. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, no point. Just why?
Dragon Slayer, 3 mana 4/3, Battlecry, deal 6 damage to a dragon. I think this is like a 4.5 to a 5. I think you maybe play this as a one-of tech card.
Yeah.
I think this is a well-designed tech card. I think it is well statted, but I don't think it has an effect that makes it an auto-include.
No.
Next card is Toothy Chest, 3 mana. At the start of your turn, set this minion's attack to 4. I hate these effects because you're basically playing a 0/4 and your opponent can trade into it. I think this is like a 2 out of 10.
Like, even if you play it on an empty board, you're still likely to have it dealt with. Yeah.
Okay, next card, Fungal Enchanter, 3 mana 3/3, restore 2 health to all your characters. I think this is like a 5 out of 10. I think this is like a really good arena card. I think this is a strict upgrade over Farseer, because
Oh yeah.
Farseer you're giving 3 health to something. This you're giving 2 health to your face at least, and everything on your board. This is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as long as you're healing 1 minion, it's better than Farseer.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Next card, 2 mana 2/3, Power Creep on River Crocolisk. It's a 2 mana 2/3 beast, Plated Beetle, Death Rail, gain 3 armor. It's a beast, build a beast.
Yeah. It's again.
Not to say build a beast will be competitive,
not...
but just something to keep in consideration.
Yeah, I mean, build a beast is already kind of playable. Of all the hunter decks, it's the most playable. So
I think this is like a 5 out of 10. I think it's playable.
yeah,
I think you play this maybe as a one-of in a Reno deck.
yeah, okay.
Because 5 is basically, if it gets a 5, it's playable. And I think this card is definitely playable, right? A 2-mana 2/3 beast that gain 3 armor is playable.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
The problem is that the classes that synergize from beasts don't want armor. You don't want this in aggro druid. You don't want this in hunter.
No. But would you in a armor druid?
Maybe. You know? Because as soon as this dies, you get an upgrade on your Lesser Jasper Spellstone, which is really good after, 1 or 2 upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe you do run this in druid.
Yeah.
Okay. Next card is the plated the Wax Elemental 1-mana 0/2 Taunt Divine Shield. This card sucks. It's like a 1 out of 10. It has potential for that buff deck with the new legendary minion. That whenever you buff the minion, it adds all the buffs to it. So you play this, you buff it up a lot, and you make it, a useful minion. But at that point, why wouldn't you just play like Shield Bearer or something?
Just play a good minion.
Yeah, just play a minion and just buff that instead.
Yeah.
Dire Mole. I think this may be one of the most contested neutral cards out there. Some people say this is shit. Some people say this is one of the best cards. I'm going to give this a 5. I think it's playable because it's a beast. It's a 1-mana 1/3 beast. And because Patches exists, it's really good.
It's Voidwalker, but with beast rather than Taunt. I mean, Voidwalker's a fucking staple.
1-mana 1/3s are always really good. Like if you look at like Finley, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Yeah, I think
1-mana 1/3s are good because they can trade into 1/1s and 2/1s and survive.
Yeah. And they trade with like a 2/2, so
the thing I think makes this playable is because I think it fits into aggro druid. You already saw aggro druid running enchanted ravens. You already saw them running snow flipper penguins just for the cheap efficient beast. Maybe they run one of these.
I've not thought about that.
You go Mark of the Wild, Mark of Yasharaj, and you get basically you're summoning. You pay 3 mana. You summon a 3/5 and you draw a card.
Yeah. So you're not putting yourself at a card disadvantage with it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit, that's really
Some
good.
people were thinking Hunter because you play as turn 1 and then you adapt it with Crackling Razor Maul. If you get Claws, this becomes a 1-mana 4/3. If you get like Death Rattle, summon the spores, and there's also, if you can keep it alive with the Crackling Razor Maul, people are thinking about Houndmaster. So I'm giving this at least a 5. I think it's at least considered playable. It's weird that it's got the most retarded card art, I think, in the game. Like, look at this guy. And that is the entire expansion.
Holy shit, we've done all of it.
Yeah, that is the entire expansion of Kobolds and Catacombs. We've done every card.
Wow.
Well, I've been streaming for a long time.
Yeah.
Like 4.5 hours. But I did start with Fortnite.
You did. That was good.
Yep. Just got to clip it up.
Yeah.
Save it up. And then in a couple months' time, see how wrong I actually was about every card. One card that I wish I'd recorded myself saying, because I said it a lot, was last expansion. I thought Scalebane was going to be insane and nobody was playing it at the start of the Frozen Throne.
Yeah.
But I also thought Keleseth was shit, so I was wrong about that one.
Yeah.